Hello everybody, welcome to the Midweek Mix-Up, and today we are joined by two special guests, Chris from 1H1D podcast and the General C is joining us, another awesome Xbox content creator. First of all, before I start, because this does this every time, I'm going to make sure that the desktop audio is correct so that you can hear our wonderful guests. Because for some reason it corrects itself back to randomness every time. And there you go, you will be able to hear everybody. Terrific. Great start as always. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. But welcome everybody, welcome. We have obviously crossed an awesome threshold. I want to start by saying a massive thank you to everybody. We have hit that 1,000 subscriber mark now. We are officially a partnered YouTube channel. So thank you to everybody for your awesome awesomeness over this first 12 months. It's been an amazing ride, and of course we're only just getting started. And before I get into the introductions, it's weird to say this, but I have a couple of super chats to point out because this is the first time we've ever had to do that. First of all, a massive thank you for the generous $10 donation from Fun Speculation. What's this? A super chat, he says. 1K subs. Gadzooks. You've done it. Congrats to Dutch and the panel. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, Fun Speculation. Much appreciated. Next up, we have an awesome £5 donation from Assassin Looper. 1K, well-deserved midweek mix-up. Congratulations to you all. You could have Oh, congratulations to you all. Bloody hell, put my teeth in. Could not have happened to a bunch of nicer people. So again, massive thank you to both of those for those super chats. Much appreciated. Awesome to have everybody here, and an awesome chat as well. Shout out to the currently over 20-something watching. Xbox Mix, HTK, UK Dazarus, Studos, General C, of course, that is on the panel tonight. Let's have a look here. Harry Locke from Gamers Watch Crew is joining us. You've also got Assassin Looper, of course, Pink Vibes, Pelham Pluck. Who else? Who else have we got hiding up here? Pelham Pluck, Dazarus, of course.
Paul,
yeah.
Paul
We have a few more. Tikio, Asante, Misuko, Smooth Dog, Harley. Good evening, everybody. Pong Soul. Absolutely amazing to see you all there. Studos as well. Brilliant stuff. Hope you all enjoy the show tonight. To go over the topics, we are going to be covering impressions from the Halo Infinite technical flight. We have two lucky panel members that have had a chance to jump into that and play it, so they will be giving us their impressions. And of course, any questions that we want to know about the game so far, we will be putting it to them. We also will be covering the Ascent and our initial thoughts on that so far. We will be covering, even though you probably will have seen it covered elsewhere, the PS5 SSD debacle, and coming up this month on Gamepass. So I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get into the introductions. First and foremost, we will get introducing our special guests. First of all, we're going to introduce the General C. So the General C creates an awesome YouTube channel, an up and coming. To be honest, he's not quite up and coming. He's above us. He has more subscribers than us, and it's awesome. And I'm surprised there is no more recognition from in the community yet, because he does produce some really great content. At the moment, he's focusing on a great show called Pass or Play, where he asks the community to suggest a game for him to play that is within Game Pass, and then provides a semi-review on the game. So essentially, he plays a portion of it, doesn't play all of it, and gives his verdict on whether or not he's going to continue playing in it, or whether or not he's going to pass. It's an awesome series that he's just started creating, and I implore you to go out and check it. His most recent was the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice on Xbox. General C, how are you doing this evening, brother?
I'm doing really great. Thank you for having me. A little bit nervous, but also very excited. And thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. Next up, we have Chris from 1H1D, another awesome audio-only podcast so far. They are looking to get into the video realms, of course. They're exploring that particular option. But another awesome podcast. Again, they use it's another variation on a pass or play. Instead, they use the randomize function within Gamepass to choose a game for them to play
Wow.
and then
Oh, wow.
review. It is quite an interesting method of doing it, and to be honest, I think that's quite interesting for them as well because they play some very random titles. It's an awesome show. Again, you can find it on your audio streaming platforms currently. It's great to listen. Chris, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing all right. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm actually kind of actually at work, but I need some time to do
Working
this
from
show.
home.
Working from home. So
From home.
He's in
I'm
his
very
he's in his
excited.
luxurious study, if everybody can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm studying podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But awesome to be on the show, guys.
Brilliant stuff. And then we come to our panel. So this evening, before we get started, Boxenberger is unable to attend. Just he had some rather late meetings at work to attend to. Chris is likewise, of course, running his own business. So he has also got a lot of meetings to attend to, working with football clubs for his particular business, and the build up to the new Premier League season. He has quite a few things to get ironed out for their particular clubs before they go live. And of course, Shomberlon is joining us, but he's a little bit late due to an awesome new job opportunity that he's just come across, returning to university to essentially teach, which is absolutely awesome. He's been doing teaching for quite a while now, but this provides a little bit extra for himself and an awesome opportunity. So he's just filling out some additional forms, etc., and he'll be following us later on and jumping into the panel. But we will get into the panel for this evening. First and foremost, Forza Erwin, the lead creator from Racing From Home and panel member extraordinaire. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing very well. I have some nice summer holidays with the family. So we went to Scheveningen today. Maybe you know it, Drew. Scheveningen. It's
Yes.
really nice for foreigners to say Scheveningen. But we had a really nice day. We went to Sea Life. We had some really nice lunch, and we went to the pier. It's famous, the pier of Scheveningen. But besides that, really, it's going really well. Healthy, doing well. And a little bit of gaming as well. Played some PUBG yesterday together with Perenpluk and with my friends from the US, Justin, and played last week. And you, of course, but yeah, you didn't brought much to the table yesterday, so that's why I don't mention you. So unless you get us chicken dinners,
Awesome.
you're you're on the credits below. But no, just joking, Pat. You were there for sure. And played last week Formula One 2021. I streamed a couple times with Chris Grannell, and we had a really good time. We started doing the co-op career mode, and streamed that to my YouTube channel, Racing From Home. If you
Yes.
cannot find it, look up for Forza Erwin and please subscribe and like my videos. That help me a bunch. And doing some co-op streaming probably this week as well. I'm going to edit some videos about Forza Horizon 5, about also the gameplay that they released. The last time the game is looking absolutely fabulous, better by every time I see it. So excited, guys, for the show, and good to have General C and Chris on the show.
Awesome stuff. Next up, we have Twitch affiliate Patcher and awesome
What's
panel
up?
member. How are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. As you know, I'm playing the Ascent most recently. I'm pretty addicted to it. So really amazing game to play. I really like it. So cannot stop playing actually. But yeah, like Erwin said, we played some PUBG yesterday.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. And we will get into that a little bit further into the show. We will be talking about the Ascent and our impressions. Next up, OnlyFans creator and almost Twitch affiliate, Hertog Vin. How are you doing today, brother?
It were bots, but you know, it's the feeling with the game, the audio, the movement, everything was so smooth, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, I picked up the Ascent after, but to try it, and I'm playing it, but I only think about Halo. I only want Halo.
That's fair enough. No, to be fair, I've seen a lot of people just really enthusiastic about the gameplay, etc., and the way the game feels, the way the game sounds, the way the game just
There's
overall.
no sound, guys.
Great. No, it's already been corrected. They should already.
Yeah, because Mick is
yeah.
saying no sound again.
It's because they've got a delay.
Yeah, it's good now. It's good.
Okay, sorry, Drew. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's all right.
Should I restart?
No, you're good. You're good. We did actually catch all of that. We even caught the back end, so you'll catch the Halo Infinite bit. But yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. We will start with I think the should we say the most technical news first, but we'll give it a less technical talk. We'll get our impressions on the PS5 SSD debacle first and foremost before we jump into the fun news. So, of course, this week we had the news from PlayStation in PlayStation blog that they were going to eventually release an update that would allow SSDs to be used in beta. So it isn't open to the general public. It is open to beta users or those who sign up for beta updates on the console, which would allow them to then use compatible compatible M.2 SSDs in the platform. It did come with a whole host of caveats, however. The caveats being primarily, it has to match or exceed the speeds to perform at a reasonable level. Even at matching and or exceeding those speeds, it does not guarantee that the games will play the same or as good or at all. It then has to make sure that it is of a particular size. So, of course, it has to be PCIe Gen 4, which is the newest variant of SSD. So you can't use a PCIe 3. I would imagine you probably could, but they have disabled that and only allow the PCIe Gen 4. It then also has to either have a built-in heatsink that matches with it and fits into the small slot, or you have to buy a heatsink for the SSD separately, and then you have to figure out what size you require to be able to fit it to your SSD and then put it in.
Man, this intro is already making me tired.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And that's without installing it.
No, that's what I mean.
So...
Tom Warren did a great movie about it.
Yeah, it's just it's a bit ridiculous. A lot of people are trying to brush. I'll kind of start off the debate on it. Hey, thanks Archie. Quick before we jump.
Hey, Archie Broodieberger.
Quick super chat from Archie Broodieberger, awesome panel member, with an awesome €3 super chat there. Have an awesome show, and I hope I will see you all next week. Thanks Archie for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Broody.
So yes, the SSD debacle for me, a lot of people are making it out as if the general public, or should we say the general gaming community, are really pointing this out because it's a fiddle to install. The installing thing is something that people can get around. You can go on YouTube, you can find out what you need, how you install something take off the plate, unscrew it, screw it in, put it back together. That's the easy part. That isn't the part that is really getting to us. The hard part is expecting some average Joe, because it will happen. Yes, it's not going to happen in vast quantities, but to expect the average Joe to go to a computer shop, not a gaming shop, because there won't be in game shops, a PC store, and go to the counter and say, I need expanded storage for my PS5. As somebody else has pointed out, they will then take you to the PC aisle, not the PlayStation aisle, and they will show you the options available to you. They will then try to explain to said average Joe what the differences are and why the differences are like that, and also then explain why they are the cost that they are. So you want a 1 terabit version of this expanded storage, that's going to cost you $270. Okay, why is it that much? Because of the speed. And it also has a heatsink built in. Okay, what's a heatsink? Well, that helps cool it. Okay, so why do I need to cool it? You can see the problem we have already. And then it's questions the average general public should not need to know or ask or question. And this is why the reason it's really come to light and why it's been brought into kind of the limelight so much is because the opposition have their version so much better implemented. By that we mean the Xbox expansion card is literally plug and play. You take it out of the pack, you plug it in. When you go into a store, you say, I need expanded storage or I need extra storage for my Xbox. They grab it off the shelf. There you go. That's your card. You plug it in. Another awesome super chat before we begin. Thank you very much from The Black Rider. I think that says. Awesome Canadian $10. Yes, it is. Yes, Canadian $10. Thank you very much. Absolutely awesome.
I like it a lot.
I like. Thank you very much for the awesome super chat. It is much appreciated. But yes, it is basically it really shouldn't be this much of a headache for the average general public. We have to when we're doing this podcast, we're reporting to people to try and break it down into layman's terms. We're trying to talk to people about gaming news, not just to the people within the gaming community. Because let's face it, sometimes we get people that jump in chat that like games but aren't within or invested in the gaming community like we are. I mean, we spend a lot of our days within a very confined Twitter space that where we talk about games all the time, and we're on websites and checking out gaming news literally all the time. So that is because we are technically a hardcore gamer. A hardcore gamer is someone who literally invests a portion of their life to gaming news, looking about gaming, talking about gaming, creating things about gaming content, etc. Or even those that you class as esports players. But the average Joe is not somebody that is going to go out into a store and try to get something like this sorted. Try to figure out what card they need, how big it needs to be, how fast it needs to be, if it has a heatsink, if it doesn't, then having to buy a heatsink. It's just an absolute fiddle on, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be simple. I want to put this first to Erwin. I mean, as a family man yourself, and obviously, for instance, you can do it from the opposite end. You are very much, you kind of know what you're doing to a point in terms of tech. You know how to install things, how to take kind of your console apart if needs be. But if for instance, it was left to your partner to go to the store, if you had a PlayStation 5 and get an SSD for your play, if you said, right, can you go and pick us up this card, but you don't tell her what, you just say, can you go and get some extra storage from a PlayStation?
Yeah.
How do you think that would go? What's your opinion on that for the average person?
Well, they first go to an Intertoys or some other stuff like that, like a real gaming store, and they probably won't sell such SSDs. So there you have the first problem. So then you will be sent to a PC store or a MediaMarkt or whatever, and then she goes over there and like, yeah, I need a memory card. Probably she's gonna say then.
Yeah.
For my PS5, can you help me with that? Maybe some people in the store doesn't really also know at that time how and what you need for that. But it's just But I think it will be complicated but doable in the end. But it's just complicated, and I don't think it's necessary because we live in 2021. Everything is at this moment so easily or autonomous or whatever, right? So having this situation is just a matter of functionality and how it's designed the console, which in my humble opinion isn't that great. Um, but to see people then talking what's, let's say, practically wrong than right, that's what fascinates me always about the Sony fanboys, let's say. That because and then I see also arguments, yeah, but it's a faster SSD than the proprietary Xbox SSD, right? And then I'm like, come on, it's just with the Xbox, you just go to a store, you buy it, you plug it in, and it's done. And people making all excuses about it isn't so much work or whatever. A memory card or an SSD or extended storage shouldn't be so difficult. End of story. And you can talk a lot of arguments and whatever. It should be plug and play. That's why we have a console, guys, or else I go PC gaming. And I think you're fully right. The hardcore guys that bought the console, those group are like 20 million people or whatever, right? They will know somehow how to fix it. But if it's really going much broader than that, you will encounter probably a lot of people that get irritated by it because they're simply also not used to it. Normally it was I remember the PS1 had those really tiny memory cards, right? And the N64 where you plug it in at the top. It's just so simple, plug and play. And this is all extra steps with also a heatsink. I mean, if I go to a store as well, what kind of heatsink? How the hell do I need it even for, right? In such a store. So I think it's ridiculous, and I think it's not necessary. Again, we are in 2021. It's just making people's life difficult, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. Pat, again to yourself, from somebody who isn't technical, kind of listening to what we've kind of been discussing and what's required to be able to get extra storage onto a PlayStation 5. How would you feel
I will not even start about it. Start doing it. Like I seen some videos on Twitter. I think that the one that Finn said, the guy that made the video. Yes, man, I was laughing really hard. Like, like why is it so difficult? Why is it not like before with the One X? You just plug it in with a USB and you're good to go. Now you need to unscrew things and that kind of stuff. No, I will not be in for that. I've never used an SSD on my consoles, so yeah, it's too many steps to actually get extra storage for your console. So for me, I think it's a little bit ridiculous.
It's a beta also, right? That's something that I really found interesting as well. With such stuff, I believe Crap Gamer's PS5 now broke down as well.
Yeah.
Probably because of it, and he isn't my biggest friend, but I feel sorry that his console broke down. But that is probably only one example, And when something like this is in beta, I mean, just test it then with a small
even
group.
a finished product.
No, exactly. No, it's just beta testing. So we are then beta testing to brick your PS5 with an external SSD stuff that you need to build on. What a heatsink, oh man, it's ridiculous. It's bollocks.
Yeah. On that note as well, on the notes with regards to the fact that it's in beta testing, they also have a note there to suggest, to exactly wipe their hands of any responsibility. They state if the card does not work or causes issues, PlayStation do not have any liability over any problems that may occur. So essentially, if you do find a card and it works for a bit, but then all of a sudden it overheats and it kills your console, which can happen, or if you don't ground yourself before you put it into the console, because of course installing, as Chris will know from building a computer, if you don't ground yourself when you're installing some of these components, it can fry the entire thing. It can literally fry it. And that is a really basic step that people who build computers know. Like, okay, well, I need to ground myself, but I also need to make sure I'm probably wearing something that isn't going to have static electricity, or put it on something that is static free, so I can make these changes. and there's a lot of people that aren't going to, and they're just going to go, okay, and then there we go, broken. Why isn't this working? I've just bought it. You've fried it. You've immediately fried it. And then your console doesn't turn on anymore because of that static electricity jolt. These are all things that shouldn't have to be onto the consumer, and the fact that they're just it's in beta shows that they don't have confidence in it. Vin, again, you are not technically minded at all. You've admitted this on countless occasions. You're not like a computer expert by any
No,
means.
I'm not.
No.
Not at all.
Two left hands.
What's your thoughts on the whole situation surrounding expanded storage?
Yeah, the thing is, I have these problems with my PS4. I told it in a previous podcast.
Yeah.
And the notes that Sony took with the memory expansion, it's like, okay, so you brick it and you're screwed again. So it's again, hello customer service, and then it's like, no, fuck you, it's in the rules. Read it, you have to buy a new one. It's and that's the point I don't get. I mean, come on, if people are beta testing it for your product, right? Then at least take responsibility and say, okay, sorry, you screwed up. We fix it for you, yeah?
Yeah.
But why immediately place those rules like, if you screw up, it's your fault, buy a new one? I don't get those rules they make. It's I had my PS4 burned down, and I'm like, okay, I hold on the PS5 because I'm waiting for like Slim or a Pro version or something that's coming next. But I really don't get, fix your problems. If you create them, you fix them, right?
Yeah.
And that's just something I don't get from Sony. Immediately, put the rules down. You have PS5. Congratulations. You want more storage? Here's, you can buy this. Buy heat sinks. I don't even know where to fucking get them, but put them in as well. And then if you screw up, well, buy a new one. Try it again. Because we're not responsible. And that's something I really don't get. But like Tom Warren showed me, it shouldn't be that difficult. But the risk is too high, I think.
Yeah.
With their rules, if they just say, oh, you screw up, we fix it for you, send it to us, so we repair it, and it's done.
Yeah.
But I don't get those rules from Sony. That's just the thing.
Yeah, and I think personally, I don't think it's, and I think we mentioned this on Primetime Game with Boom the other night. We don't believe it's probably ever going to come out of beta, because the moment it comes out of beta, then they're going to have to take some responsibility if these consoles break. Whilst it's in beta, they don't have to take it because they can just go, it was in beta. Told you this could happen. The moment that comes out of beta, they have to take some kind of responsibility for a broken console. When it's not, when it's in beta, they have caveats in place, so they don't have to worry about that. So I don't think it's going to come out of beta until they have their own. For instance, if they produce their own SSD, slap a big Sony badge on the SSD, that's when they can release it. That's when it'll come out of beta. But I don't think.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that
Exactly.
they will save up the new SSD for the new model PlayStation 5.
Yeah. But even saying that though, Vin, the problem you've got then is a new model or a Slim or a Pro version, whatever it's going to be. What you're going to do with the 10 million plus consoles that are already out there?
Like Sony always does, just
Buy a
stick the
new
finger
one.
up. That's what Sony always does. But
Yeah. But no, it is. You are correct. It does seem like sometimes that is exactly how they're doing it. It's just, okay, go away. We don't. Try it. If it doesn't work, tough. Chris,
Yeah,
that's the attitude
Cool.
that bothers me from Sony, from I believe the PS3 era. That really bothered me to purchase a PS3, and I won one, and later I bought it because of Gran Turismo. So I just fell for it as well.
Yeah.
Bet you're not on mute, by the way. So be careful going to the toilet again. But yeah, it's that attitude, not consumer friendly. And I went to a holiday park yesterday in the Netherlands, and we had some trouble over there as well. And then you notice when a company is really consumer focused and listening to their needs, etc.
Yeah.
And which one is not. And I think this company also don't say it's the consumer first, let's say. And that attitude that Microsoft has, which Sony doesn't, and that you see that with multiple things, I think. And this is a prime example, and I think it's ridiculous that it's a beta and that the full responsibility is at the consumers. And if you mess it up, then you are the one to blame. No, it's in beta, so you are actually not giving a final solution to a customer that could potentially break your console. It's ridiculous. And the more ridiculous, I may be falling in repetition, but people that defend this stuff, that's they always say, yeah, demand better and blah blah blah. No, you should demand better in this particular case as well, but they don't do it. They swallow it and just pretend that we are the crazy ones, right? With the SSD.
Yeah.
Oh, you are crazy.
Yeah, that's true, but
that's another thing entirely.
There's nothing new. That's nothing new.
Oh dear me, Chris.
Love you, Erwin.
From a man who has built his own computer, at least upgraded the computer, bought parts for his computer, etc. What is your perspective on this SSD front from PlayStation?
Well. Actually, someone from the chat, I think Paul mentioned, like, yeah, if someone had, if Sony just went out and said these are drives that are available, that would be great. But like to your point, they're probably not gonna do that because then they're responsible. But it's tough because like as we're talking about, like it seems like the goodwill of the gamer community has flipped this generation. Because the Xbox has done so much to try and be like, hey, we're trying to fix what we screwed up on the Xbox One, and so I'm hoping that I'm thinking too far ahead, but like the next version of Xbox, they don't try to do what Sony's doing right now, where they're just trying to be complete assholes about everything.
Yeah.
So, but like I think sometimes they like these companies just start to get really confident or really cocky about whatever it is that they're dealing with, and they're like, oh yeah, they'll do whatever we tell them to do, and that's it. So I think it is kind of crappy that they don't even try to give you at least, like, you have to find other like bloggers or whoever it is to do the research for the drives, and like an Xbox just tried to make it as simple as possible, and they got reamed for that too, because oh, it's too expensive, and then you come to see these drives are just as expensive, if not more. So it's like, no, Microsoft can't win, and Sony's just like their fan base is like, oh, it's fine, the prices are gonna come down, we're gonna have no problems with it too. So, all right, whatever. Like you can't win with them, so you can't win an argument. So,
and from a technical standpoint, what do you make of that? What do you think?
I mean,
do you think Joe Public it's going to be a pain in the arse?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, but the excuse that they'll probably have is just that, oh, well, there's so many videos or something like that out there to help you with this. It's like, why do you need a video? Just plug it in. Like, what's the big deal about? Like, why do they have to make it more complicated than it has to be? But
yeah,
you know, it's
exactly.
It sucks. But I best of luck to everyone that doesn't know how to put in a hard drive, and
that's me.
I mean, it's not easy, but you know.
Yeah, I would say going on to General C then on that remark. What's
like the furthest?
If you had a PlayStation 5, if you had a PlayStation, or if you do have a PlayStation 5, and you did fill up your capacity and you had to go out and do it, what's your thoughts on that process?
I'd probably avoid it because, I mean, I'm the type of person that is literally nervous to build my own PC because I know how easy it can be to, like, if you don't ground yourself, ruin that PC.
Yeah.
Like, the furthest I'll go with my PC is I'll buy a pre-built and I'll clean it every now and then.
Yeah.
But general, it will be a funny episode, right? Pass or play. You trying it, and then the verdict pass.
More like, will it blow up or won't it blow up?
Will my house be set on fire?
Yeah. Will I lose £600?
The furthest I'll go with storage is I'll buy an external SSD and I'll plug that in. I'm
Yeah.
not the type of person that likes tinkering with PCs. That stuff makes me nervous. I looked at building my own PC and that made me nervous. So I ended up just buying a pre-built to avoid all those problems.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do that. And I think a lot of people seem to forget that as well. People literally buy these consoles for simplicity. Like, if someone was that much of an, especially on the PlayStation side, they sold 120 million plus units last generation. 120
Yeah.
million. That is 2 to 1 on what the Xbox did. So you have to think about the sheer volume of. It's around about 25% of that total figure, or the hardcore majority, the people that invest in PlayStation specifically for PlayStation, get all the games, buy all the peripherals, etc. The remaining 75% are absolute casuals. They are people that bought a console, they plug it in, and they never touch it again. If they run out of space, which can happen, the sizes of games are ridiculous these days. And the internal size of the SSD on PlayStation is only 620 gig once everything's included, which is just nuts because it's an 850 gig drive or something. But then they also allot a small portion of that to other, whatever that is. So by the time you actually get around to installing games, you've got about 620, 650 gig to actually install games on. One of those games, COD, which a lot of the casuals play, is around about 200 gig on itself, which is just insane. Then you've got Call of Duties and GTAs. There's another 100 gig per game. I mean, once you've got a couple of games on there, and these kids won't want to uninstall it, install it, uninstall it, install it, and then their parents just going to turn around and say, "Well, just uninstall something." So yeah, but then when my friend wants to play this, then I can't play it because I've got to install it again, and I've got to wait a day for it to install.
That's a great point.
It shouldn't be that much of a ball ache to play games.
I mean, like, how many kids are going to go to their parents, I need extra storage for my console?
Yep.
And how many of these parents are just going to go into a store and think they can pick up any SSD and whack it straight in that system?
Yep.
Well, I think for the Series S, it could be the Achilles heel, right? I mean, the internal storage space is not that big. So if people then come in a situation, or the kids like, hey, I don't want to remove Fortnite or whatever, right? Then they need to buy a very expensive SSD, because I think it's still like 220 euros or 230, right? It's almost the same amount of money as the Series S.
Yep.
So I think, and for me also, that is really not that I don't have any money to spend or whatever, but I think 220 euros is just one boundary too far to spend only on a storage of 1 terabyte. Let's say it's something that draws the line for me somehow, that I don't want to spend any money on. It's I know it's but that's could be the Achilles heel of the Series X, in my opinion.
Yeah, most definitely. Erwin, do you want to get that super chat?
Yes, so I see K. Asante. We forget that both companies are very different this generation than last, both in leadership and business model. Don and Sean are gone. That's why this is all happening. Love the real talk, gents. Thanks, Asante, for the $10, mate. And a great comment, actually, as well.
And congrats on the 100, Asante.
Yes, congrats on the 100 subscribers, which he smashed through this week. And I think he's sitting over, maybe he's 130 subscribers now.
Whoa.
He kind of
nice.
floated straight past that as soon as he hit it. Which is awesome.
Erwin, you need to go to Mr. Boomstick show as well then.
Yeah. I'm at 147 now, so let's crank it up as well, guys.
Crank it up. Let's get the support over to these awesome people. K. Asante has a very awesome podcast himself. A small 2-3 man podcast every week. But he also does another podcast on a different channel as well that discusses more comic books and Marvel and films, etc. Absolutely awesome. A really great guy. So definitely go and check out his work. Thank you again, Asante, for the very generous $10 super chat. Much appreciated. Aside from that, I think we've pretty much covered the SSD talk. Really, the bottom line is it shouldn't be this difficult for the general public. Yes, it's going to be a small majority of people that will be upgrading, but for a large chunk of that small majority, it's going to be people that haven't got a clue about technology. They just want the easiest way to play and the easiest way to upgrade things, and it shouldn't be this difficult.
I just want to point out one thing though.
Yeah.
For PlayStation, people complained when Xbox allowed you to change your batteries on your controllers, and they thought that was too hard. And now they're swapping out hard drives. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
very good point. Very
That's
good
a good
point.
one.
Savage. That's savage.
It is a very good point. Of course, the hardcore Sony fanboys are very adamant that batteries are hell. They are the devil. Batteries are the devil.
Yeah.
We should
And
all
no, I
hate
don't wanna
batteries.
I don't want to pay 25 euros for a play and charge kit. Are you ridiculous? You know, it's oh man, but that's what I see in general on Twitter. It's all hypocrites like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if something is not good, just mention it. It doesn't bother. Even if you're a fan of a product, you can say that you can criticize it. That's no problem. But somehow they want to defend till their death, let's say, and that's being a hypocrite in my opinion. So I think it's a very good point, Chris. But that same people are now defending that talk about the batteries, are now defending the whole SSD stuff. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it is indeed. Yes, it is. The next topic, thankfully, is a little bit better, a little brighter, and it's going to be down to myself, Erwin, Pat, and Chris to ask the questions. But we will get first of all, the feedback. So Vin and General C had the opportunity, among another small portion of the community, to play Halo Infinite this weekend in the technical flight. Of course, the first thing we had was a little bit of a hiccup on the server side before they got launched, so it did launch a little bit later than they expected. And of course, to be expected, they wanted to iron out any problems or bugs, etc., which is the whole purpose of a technical flight. So when the flight got started, of course, there were a number of bugs reported. We had things from audio glitches, sound glitches, gunfire glitches, we had movement glitches, things like that. Some of the basic stuff you'd expect to see in a technical test. This was also, and putting a large caveat in there, this build that everybody was playing was actually a 2-month-old version of the game. So what the actual state of the game as of now is not what people have played. The further they go into technical testing, the more polished that particular build is going to be, the newer that build is going to be, and things get ironed out. So, first of all, I'm going to point this question to the General C. Having played Halo Infinite over the weekend with Vin, and we do have some footage, which I'm going to just roll over to now before we go any further. Woo! We have awesome gameplay footage here, thankfully recorded by Vin and the General C. Of the technical test and the gameplay that goes along with it. General, what do you make of the game so far? How does it feel? How does it play? What does it look like? How do you like it?
In my opinion, it's the most Halo multiplayer that has ever been a Halo multiplayer since Halo 3. And that excites me. I'm just absolutely loving what I play. The movements, using the new grappling hook is absolutely insane. I've seen some crazy moves on YouTube where people slingshot themselves in the air and try to rocket someone.
Yeah.
And I can't recreate that. I literally cannot recreate that. I do not have those movements in my brain.
Oh yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, I think with practice, maybe I can get back to my classic Halo days. But I'm getting older now, so the gamer brain starts to die when you get older.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the most a Halo game has been for quite some time, and I'm really loving that. And my faith in 343 Industries has been restored.
Awesome. That is good news to hear, because a lot of people, of course, after the last one, it was kind of quite dented. I think it wasn't mainly down to the multiplayer that on that occasion either. I think the issue stemmed from that single player campaign. One major addition, before I kind of get Vin's impressions as well, one major addition that I like to see, which brings more people into the Halo universe, especially into the Halo Online community, is the inclusion of bots. And of course, bots isn't just for this technical flight. They have introduced them as a permanent thing in the in the game to allow people to essentially customize themselves to the game, practice before going in the ring with what we pretty much class as an elite community of Halo players, because if you go onto Halo Online, you will get your arse handed to you if you haven't been playing for a while. But General, how did you find the implementation of the bots over the weekend? Of course, they steadily increased the difficulty from just regular bots up to ODST and then up to Spartan. So what was your thoughts on that?
I really enjoyed the bots. They started out with the Marine bots, and they were easy. They were quite a breeze. And then the next day, they bumped them up to ODST difficulty, and that scared me. And the next day, they bumped them up to Spartan difficulty, and I was like hiding in a corner for most of the time. I was like, these bots are insane. They, on Spartan difficulty, they flank you. They throw grenades at you constantly, and you have to kind of try and predict their movements, and it's really hard to do. And this is going to be crazy, especially for like new players. If you're coming into the game and you're like starting out, because I think there is a tier of bots before the Marine difficulty, which is recruit, but that wasn't in the beta. And this is going to be a great starting point for anyone that is new to Halo to come into the game, try out these bots, and start adapting by going up through the different tier levels of these bots. And it's going to be amazing for new players to get that grip of Halo, to know how these pros play the game and adjust to playing that way.
Yeah.
Did you play the PvP also, General? Because that's what they added later, right?
I only managed to get like 30 minutes on the PvP, and it was very laggy. I had some disconnects and crashes, so unfortunately I didn't get a lot of PvP time.
What did you make of? I mean, other than the lagginess and things, did you get any smooth areas of playing the PvP to kind of give it a basic judgment? Or
I'd say between like a good 70 to 75% of the time, the beta worked flawlessly, and there was some issues with lag issues. There was some rubber banding where you walk so far and then it will drag you back. Just all the sort of basic bugs you'd really expect from some sort of like test like this. But like you said, it's a 2-month-old build, and they've even said themselves most of these issues are already resolved.
Yeah, which is awesome to hear. Absolutely awesome to hear. Vin, on your initial impressions of the game, following an awesome weekend, as we stand at this moment in time, we are watching your gameplay. This is you playing. So how do you feel about the game itself, the way it handles, the way it looks?
I really loved it. It was a crazy weekend for me. Thursday, I was with Emil and Justin and Joshua in a party, and we're counting down till the Halo waypoint would send the second email, and it didn't come. Halo waypoint went down, and everything at 3 for 3 went down. So yeah, that was a bit disappointment. But next day we got in, and the general asked me to play with him, and we had a really great weekend. I played with Shomberlon, with the general, back from the dead. Yeah, we had a really great games. And then it was really good. The maps were really beautiful. It was well set up. Everything was running smooth. And then we had the bots, and you think like, okay, it's bots. We can handle them. No, you can't. they kept throwing grenades at you, and like the general said, they tried to how you say that, flank you and everything. And they did it really good. It's a bit like the old Perfect Dark days, where you had the bots.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. The AI is really great. The weapons are all a bit how you say that, aangepast, hoe zeg je dat? A bit fixed. Adjusted. So, so like the battle rifle and the commando rifle are really great to play with. The sprinting, it's a good sprint. I hate when people are complaining about the Halo fans, like, oh, there shouldn't be sprint, but the sprint is really good. It's not too fast or whatever.
Do you know that somebody tested it? I saw a video from, I believe it was Halo follower. It's a big Halo YouTuber, and they counted what the difference between sprinting and just normal walking, and there was 0.2 seconds difference, I believe, of over a certain amount of time.
Oh,
So
yeah,
the
okay,
difference between running and walking isn't really there.
No,
Um,
but they did that really good, you know. So
Yes.
in fact, nobody has to complain now, right? You
no.
have sprinting, but it's not that sprinting, you know, like in Call of Duty where you could slide through the whole map. You know,
I actually like the sprint in this. Like,
yeah,
there's like these speed lines that are flying past you, and that sort of like gives you this placebo that you're running faster than you are.
yeah.
Mhm. Hey guys, what I would like to know is probably you played Halo 5 as well, and I skipped Halo 4 and just played Halo 5, and actually I'm maybe one of the few people that actually liked the single player, kinda. Also because it looks pretty great, and the gameplay was awesome. The story was not that spectacular, and also the AI was not really that great, but in general I kind of liked it. Just to get back into Halo because I lost it a little bit. But the Halo 5 multiplayer, I hear a lot of people that the Halo 5 multiplayer was actually pretty decent. What is your opinion from going from Halo 5 to this one? What is positively changed? Did you feel any difference? And yeah, I'm just curious.
I like the Halo 5 multiplayer.
Yes.
I
Compared to
didn't
the
like
Halo
certain
5.
aspects of the Halo 5 multiplayer, like the boosting. There's like the ground pound. I'm glad those things are gone. This is like a perfect balance of Halo 5 and Halo 3 and a little bit of Halo Reach as well, especially with the equipment.
Yeah.
And that just makes the perfect Halo in my opinion. And I can't wait for the full game to see all of that come to fruition.
General C, just a quick interruption of yourself. You have actually won Xbox Mix prize of the figurehead for Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
Oh.
I never win anything, so thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Prepare to have a streak like ping pong.
Yeah. Sorry,
Like Pong
sorry,
Soul.
Pong Soul, you didn't win.
And you, Vin, going from Halo 5 to this?
Yes, it's a bit hard to compare already because we only had like the bot slayer match, you know. And in Halo 5 you had the firefights, the big maps, and you had the tanks and the warthogs and the banshees. It's a bit hard to compare, but if you just look at Slayer, you know, the mode we could play, yeah, it's like the general said, it's perfect match between 5 and 3. You know, only it runs so smooth. You know, it's the tech build already was 4K 120. Sometimes dropped to a bit of 100. You know, but that's the server issues, I think. But it's perfect mix now. The game runs so smooth. So the movement, everything is so well done. You know, it's not too fast. It's not too slow. It's perfect Halo.
Yeah, I think the general impression, what I get from Twitter at least, and comparing that to previous Halos as well, is that the general impression of this tech test is really good. Even the guy from Digital Foundry, the Dark X guy, he was really impressed by it. And I think
it was really impressive because, you know, even the audio, you know,
Awesome stuff.
So that wasn't really too much of a problem to me.
There we go. We're accidentally muted for a second there. So just to recap what Vim was saying there, just in case anybody missed it.
You didn't miss anything.
He was essentially saying...
did it on purpose.
He was essentially saying that the bugs that he encountered weren't like game breaking. There was a few audio glitches. There was a few kind of smaller glitches, but nothing that was really taking away from the experience. Nothing that wouldn't be quite easy to iron out. General, you were following on from that as well.
Yeah, I was just saying the bug that I got the most was the sound bug, and that only really happened when I joined the match halfway through, so it wasn't really too much of a big deal.
Oh,
Right.
and I had one bug, right, General, where you had to kill me because my screen didn't went to the weapon.
Yeah, you kept getting stuck in like the initial
Yeah.
load screen.
But I could shoot and run and stuff, but I couldn't see it.
And what was the favorite weapon, guys, that you used?
You want to go
Rifle for
first?
me.
Battle
Yeah,
rifle.
oh, sorry. Yeah,
Finn?
yeah, battle rifle.
Yeah.
I
it's
really
well
liked
done.
the commando.
What is the commando?
It's sort of like the DMR. I think they've removed the DMR from Halo now, and it's sort of like a fully automatic DMR, but it's not like crazy fully automatic. You really still have to pick your shots and be careful with how you shoot that gun. But the commando was really good, really
But
nice to get
so the
headshots
commando
with.
still has kind of the punch that the DMR had, because I loved the DMR, but it was a bit. At the same time, it was also a bit. If you were going up against someone with a battle rifle, you would get owned because that person could fire more quicker. But with the
I think
DMR had a bit of punch. So at the same time, if you picked your shots, but with Halo, it's so fast movement, it's a bit difficult. How do you find that in terms of kind of being able to not only place your shots, but being able to get more rounds off quickly with this new commando gun?
I think that is possibly why they got rid of the DMR and replaced it with this commando, because it really does keep up with that battle rifle. It can be fully automatic, but not as fast as like the assault rifle. You really still have to be careful with your shots. If you're going to go fully auto, you're going to miss a lot of the times.
Right, awesome stuff. Pat, have you
And there
got
was-
any? Oh, go on,
There's-
go on.
There's,
Vin.
there's only one thing, because there were just like these fruit baskets, and I have to mention it. The watermelons didn't explode as they used to be.
No.
It's funny because the fruit actually looks really good, but the focus point is the fruit doesn't blow up, right? I mean,
Yeah, but
when
come
did
on,
Halo
it's-
become about?
it's
So let's
it's
make a
going on-
video about it. Let's make a video about it.
It's-
Compare it to Call of Duty.
They wanted the
about
metagame
details.
Fruit Ninja implemented,
About the
didn't they?
details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's 3 days now. 3 days on
When-
Twitter. People are complaining that the watermelon doesn't explode
Yes.
right now. I mean, come on, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah. It's all
When
about
did
the
Halo
details.
become about this invasion of fruit? We're not fighting fruit here.
Yeah,
We're fighting
Come
the
on, man.
Covenant.
what are you
Yes,
talking about, man?
just a heads up as well. Of course, Joe from the lead developer, solo developer from Song of Iron's been in chat there. He jumped in and is said he loves the Halo chat. Glad to hear it, the love. But of course, if everybody wasn't aware, it's a big month for Joe as well.
Yeah.
He is releasing his title at the end of the month on the 31st of August. And as a podcast, Joe will be jumping on the 1st, so the day after launch.
Yes.
For a little while, he'll be jumping in for about an hour or so because, of course, he's probably going to have quite a busy few days with post-launch interviews and whatnot. So, but he is jumping on the show, and we will be giving away 4 copies of Song of Iron.
Oh,
So that is
all to Pongsol.
all to Pong. Yeah, Pong's getting all of them. Pong Soul is getting every last copy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Song of
dear
Iron's a
me.
game that's definitely on my buy
Nice.
list. I will
Yeah.
be
Oh,
playing it
yeah.
when it comes out.
Oh, I pre-ordered it already.
Yep, same.
Oh,
It's,
good. I'm gonna do that after the show.
Yeah, it's awesome. 31st. I think it's something like 17 or 18 pounds. I think.
It's 19 euro. 19 euros.
19 euros. There we go.
Nothing.
So it's absolutely can't and I've had the pleasure of helping Joe and some of his technical testing behind the scenes, and honestly, guys, the sliver of Slice that I've played so far, as well as kind of the demo that you've had, it's come a long way from the demo that he released earlier on in the year, and the gameplay has improved so much.
But how is it for you then? It's your first time you are the main character of a game, Drew.
Yeah, it was hard work. Thankfully, there wasn't that many lines. There wasn't that many lines. It was more just grunting and.
Oh, you're good at that. Oh, fuck, sorry.
But yeah, no, it's. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to seeing everybody kind of get their hands on it and seeing what else has been changed in there. And some of the awesome soundtrack as well that I've had the pleasure of interviewing Will Goss and Joe at the same time before. really great stuff. But thank you, Joe, for stopping in. I know you've got a lot of kind of final preparations before launch to get done when that game comes out. So thank you for taking the time to jump into the chat and listen to us and interact with everybody in the chat as well today. Have a good one, brother. But we will continue. Patcheur, have you got any questions for the fine gentlemen that have been playing Halo so far? What do you want to know?
What do I want to know? I don't know. Like the first impression that they gave, it's clear to me. Like, okay, you have some small issues, but that's not the biggest problem. But no, for now I don't have no questions because it's all clear. I watched Finnish stream a few times, and I actually cannot wait to play it. I played Halo once in my life, like probably an hour or so, or something. But this looks really good, man. And yeah, I cannot wait to actually play this game.
Bet. You can download the Master Chief Collection in Gamepass. You can pick up with all the Halos. We have plenty of time. We have until November, man. Go play it.
I know someone that'll play it with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Me, the general.
Okay. That's maybe not a bad idea. Maybe stream it as well. That could be cool.
You can co-op them.
How many people you can co-op?
The first 2 Halo games is 2-player co-op. The third Halo game is 4-player co-op. Awesome. Halo 3 ODST is also 4-player co-op. Halo Reach is 4-player co-op. Halo 4 is 2-player co-op. And Halo 5 is 4-player co-op.
Man, I need to start with Halo 3 as well. So if we can do that as a co-op, as a team, that will be amazing.
I'm in for it, man.
I'm in for it.
Okay, let's go.
Awesome.
Okay, stop the podcast.
Right now.
Let's go. If only the game was out now.
That's it, guys. End of the show.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. See you later.
Play Halo.
No, but like the guy said, for me, it's all clear. I can actually not wait to play it. So
awesome.
You know what the best thing about Halo multiplayer is? It's coming out at the low price of free-to-play.
Yeah.
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 So,
it's ridiculous when you think about it.
Only multiplayer, right? So.
The multiplayer, yes, the multiplayer.
I mean, unless you've got Game Pass, in which case it's all.
Yeah.
In which case it's all included with one low price of $9.99 a month.
I'm really curious.
If you're new, the first 3 months is only $1.
Yeah. Shameless.
Or if you're in the UK, that's £1.
Yeah.
Or Holland is €1.
I'm really curious if they're gonna do another flight. So they are.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. You can sign up if you haven't already signed up. Sign up now.
I already did with the first one, but yeah, I'm not jealous at all that you guys were in.
I think they're going to expand it to larger amounts of people for the next one. But
that would be great.
Yeah, I think
I've signed up as well.
Set amount of people to kind of play that initial flight experience, and I think they're really I think it's to get server strength. They're going to kind of ramp it up every flight up until launch.
That would be great.
Chris, what have you got? Any options? Have you got any questions? You might have options.
I'm just curious because I'm sure you guys seem to really enjoy it. But was there anything that if you had to really think about it critically that you're worried about or concerned about with this game, at least multiplayer?
Concerns at the moment, none I can think of, but there is like one thing that I am disappointed about. It's the way they're handling like the color schemes of the game. It's not the same as it used to be. A lot of it's going to be cosmetic, like items that you buy in the store. A lot of it's going to be stuff you unlock in the battle pass, and some you will obviously unlock through like natural progression. That's something that I'm a little bit worried about. I'm hoping you don't have to pay like £20 for blue or £30 for gold or something like that, because
you're more concerned about the cost of individual items, I think. Then
the microtransactions is a concern. If it's fairly priced, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
but it depends, right? Because the battle pass system is really good now, because if you buy a battle pass and you haven't finished it before like the second or the third or the fourth comes, you can still upgrade that, right? So each battle pass you buy you can be fully completed, and that's a really nice system.
Yeah, once you buy a battle pass, you have it forever.
Yeah,
until
yes, forever.
the
And
internet
that's a really
decides
good
to
thing.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Until the internet dies or you've eventually completed it. One of the two.
Yep. And that's the
Because
good thing about it. You can take a month's break from Halo. You can take a year's break from Halo. You'll come back and you'll still have that battle pass you bought when you bought it.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
be
Yeah,
able to
but-
complete it.
Okay.
Like I say, the difference, of course, is like on Sea of Thieves, you get one of the seasons, and if you haven't completed something by the end of the season, it starts again, and you lose all progression. It goes the same in battle passes for Call of Duty and Apex and everything like that. If you haven't completed it by the time the season ends, you've just lost all progression. You've got to start again on the next thing, and you probably lose those items. You can't get those items anymore, or you have to unlock them or pay for them separately. With the battle pass, that isn't an issue anymore because they roll over, and you can even go back and purchase old battle passes. So if you weren't there for launch and someone had because I think it's the first suit of armor that's going into the battle pass, is the samurai one, which everyone's got their eyes on, and I think that's the one they're launching with. So that's the first battle pass. So, for instance, if you didn't get into the game at launch and it's several months down the line, you don't have to worry about I missed the first one, because you can go back and buy the first battle pass just to go and get that. And if you don't want the stuff in the other ones, don't worry about it. You don't have to buy it. So
Exactly.
That's really nice. Yeah.
And Chris, the only concern I have, for Halo is that the wait will be too long for the release. And because it's free to play, I think the service will break first night.
Yes.
That's
for
the
sure.
only concern I have. But gameplay wise, it's really good, Chris. It's really, really good. I was playing with the general, and I had to work as well, but I gave up almost all my sleep this weekend just to play Halo.
I think we were on till like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning.
Back to work.
But it's a good point. It's a valid point what you bring up, Hertog Vin Gaal, because because the game is now also launching in Game Pass, so the day one players will be the biggest in any Halo, I think.
No, but it's not just Game Pass. It's all
and
the
PC
multiplayer
as well,
section.
Sure.
It's
on
also
PC
free to play.
and-
You have to cross play. It's free to play. You have to like how many Steam players are there? Like 1 billion, I think, or something.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. But even if that's only a percentage of that, with Game Pass, with the free multiplayer, it's going to be insane, and it's going to be a huge test to manage all those things.
That's the only concern I have, that it will break the
And the
first night.
release date, what will the release date will be in the end? I'm really curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be the 20th anniversary.
I think it'll be later on, if not in December. I think it'll probably be the Christmas launch game.
Personal opinion, I think there's a nice sweet spot for Halo right after Dying Light 2.
When's Dying Light 2 come out?
I think it's the 7th of December, so a week
Ah,
later.
yeah,
I think Halo would be sitting perfectly on the 14th.
Just before the Christmas, just in the Christmas rush.
Yes.
Yeah, and the multiplayer is obviously free to play, so they've got no worries about people having to buy the multiplayer there.
Yeah, you've got a good point there.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you don't even have a technical need for people to queue up to buy the game either. They can get Game Pass and worry about buying a physical copy later if so needs be.
And also, Microsoft just recently dropped the free to play paywall, so there's none of that anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm buying the collector's edition. I don't care, if it's a Game Pass, but I'm gonna buy it, man. I'm gonna support these guys. I want to support this game in the studio. They did a really great job. Everybody was complaining about free for free with Halo 5, but the story wasn't that bad. It wasn't as good as what Bungie did on free, for example. But it wasn't that bad, and the multiplayer was excellent. And they are doing a really great job with the multiplayer now again.
Yeah.
The story trailer from the E3, that with Greg, I still liked it. It needed a bit of polish, but it was still looking good. So we have to how you say that, pay some respect to free for free for keeping up. With everything. Including all the shit they get from Halo fans.
But the glass is half full, Vin. I mean, it's such a gigantic game.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it already a couple times on this podcast. It's a multiplayer game that could be released on its own, and it has a single player that could be released on its own.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus the gigantic pressure that comes along with such a game like Halo is releasing. But I think with the semi-open world, with a day and night circle, with the new characters in the game where you fight against, right? I mean, the whole new storyline that some fucker spoiled, which will need to be killed as soon as possible. But I mean, there are so many changes going on. And besides the graphics, I really like the gameplay because that already showed how fluid it was, and the gunplay was looking really good. So if they have those graphical enhancement, what they probably did then over a year's time, man, this is going to be a gigantic game, eh? It's going to be
you can see it if Drew uploaded it. I don't know if it's already uploaded in 4K on YouTube because
yes,
but then you'll see it.
It's still waiting.
Oh yeah, but you know if it's uploaded, you know you can see it at full 4K 60. It's like the general me were playing. You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Like Erwin mentioned there, the one unfortunate thing that came out of all of it was that during release of the technical flight, they noticed that they'd inadvertently and accidentally released sections of the single-player campaign in the data files for the technical flight, which of course PC guys have unfortunately dug out and released, and there are spoilers floating about, so heads up to everybody who's looking forward to this game and anybody who really isn't or kind of just wants things to remain nice within the community. If you see any spoilers, block, delete, get rid. Don't call them out, don't share it, just block it, and kind of let people know kind of privately, I would say, as opposed to publicly. But yeah,
there's a few keywords that you should mute as well. I'm not sure what all those keywords are. I don't want to say them just in case, you know, the hint is there.
Yeah.
But there is a few keywords you can mute. So if you do see anything that pops up, mute those keywords.
Yeah. And
I saw even examples that people were sliding in somebody's DM just to spoil the storyline. Man, that's really a new baseline of pathetic.
I had that from someone. It's luckily I had muted that person before because as soon as I saw the message, I knew what was coming, so I blocked that person, and that was it.
Yeah, and another unfortunate thing as well. There's one of the podcasters we know as well. I've forgotten who it is now. Jumped into his chat on the stream and dropped the kind of pretty much major end game spoiler for the game directly into his podcast chat. Thankfully, it was all in capitals as well. Thankfully, that person was blocked and removed, and the message was deleted in time before really anybody clicked onto it. But it's just so there's some really ridiculous people in the community that just do this to spoil other people's fun. And people have to realize as well, like a lot of this stuff that's been leaked from data miners that are on PC. It's got nothing to do with the console community. Like nobody actually wants it to release publicly in that sense. These things go onto Reddit, they go onto all these message boards, and then they release to Twitter. But for some reason, these people think that it's fun to do so. But it's happened to them. It's happened to them with The Last of Us. So these people think it's hilarious to try and do the same thing onwards. Two wrongs don't make a right. Don't do exactly the same that's happened to you, because that doesn't solve the issue. Just
know how it feels. They know how it feels. It's like being cheated, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, you know how it feels. Don't do it to somebody else. Yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's a horrible way of thinking, and better block every dude or person that is involved with this, and just man.
I'm happy Drew sent to me, the people who could spoil it, so I blocked them all before I could even see them. I didn't follow them or whatever, but I just took all the people Drew sent and I blocked them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. So if anybody sees anybody, if you see anybody on there, just drop it into your little DMs with your friends and things like that, and just get them to block or mute these people immediately.
Yeah.
It is
Fully
the
agree.
it is the typical set people. You'll have seen their names before. You've probably already got them blocked, so you might not ever see it. Some of these, thankfully, the people that were spoiling it, or at least putting the spoilers out, I already had blocked anyway because they are some of the extremists within the community.
It's funny because I saw a picture of one of them that tried to send me something, and he was banned from Twitter. And I'm glad that he got banned from Twitter. You spoil things, you deserve to be banned from Twitter.
Yeah.
So he tried to reach out to you then, General.
Yeah, he tried to tweet me, and I had a private message that as soon as I saw it pop up, I knew what was going on. I thought, this is someone trying to spoil Halo. He's
Yeah.
come at me in tweets before, trying to spread his console war stuff, and I just muted him. And then as soon as he sent me a message, that was it. I went to the level and blocked him. And then a few days later, I saw someone tweet a picture that he'd been suspended, and I'm glad that he got suspended. He
Good
deserves
news.
that.
Good
Yeah.
news. That's technically because if people don't seem to realize this, even if you are leaking spoilers, you are technically still breaking NDA. Whether or not you've signed an NDA, it is still information that you are not privy to and you're not meant to have. So you will get banned because that is copyrighted material. So have fun.
That's by the way. That's
You
one
can-
thing that 343 did really well, right? I mean, they didn't even have an NDA on the Halo test.
Yeah, they just let everybody stream it, everybody show it.
Yeah.
They were very confident in their work, and I think that
Yeah.
speaks
Yes.
volumes.
Yeah, it really does show the
Exactly,
confidence
yeah, that's-
levels they have, and that alone makes me excited with what they're doing. That they're not afraid to show this stuff
Yeah, it's the
and
first.
let people show this stuff off as well.
Yeah, it's the first public outing of the game. Like all we've seen was that tiny little clip, like that multiplayer kind of
Trailer.
collaboration trailer type of thing, where they put it all together with fancy camera angles. That's as much as we'd seen up until now. That was the most we've seen of multiplayer. So for them to just come out and say, right, the technical flight is now, and you can do whatever you want. You can stream it, you can record it, you can make content on it, whatever you want to do. Just go for it, have fun. And
Yeah.
I think that is awesome. That again shows their confidence. They're like, no, we're other than the server side things, which we'll have to iron out. The gameplay we're extremely confident in. So have fun, go for it.
Yeah.
Little spoiler from Harry Locke in the chat there. He says major Halo spoiler. Dumbledore. Let's have a look at it. Let's go back. Dumbledore kills Snape.
What?
So
No way.
yeah.
No way that happened.
Unfortunately,
Never saw that
in
coming.
Halo, Dumbledore kills Snape.
But the narrative has changed, guys, around Halo. If we look
Yeah.
back at a year at E3 with all the crack stuff going on, and people were so negative and everything, and now the whole vibe, the whole narrative around Halo is so much different. It's so good, and it's really nice to see, and I really hope the game will get a good score, because after all the shit 343 got, I think
Yeah.
this will they will knock it out of the park. I hope for them as a studio as well. After so many setbacks, this could be a great opportunity.
Revenge will be sweet.
Yes, exactly.
And what's really pleasing to see as well on the back of that is the media. Like every one of those news outlets that are usually extremely toxic has not had a bad word to say about it. Like half of them are saying like this is based on the gameplay we've seen and technical. Like this could potentially look to being Game of the Year material. Like this is a polished game. And to see some of those, what I would class as kind of tabloid journalist sites now that used to be great, naming no names, IGN.
Metro UK.
Even not have a bad word to say about it. Of course, they had the whole spin on the leaked story, etc. that was in there. But outside of that, in terms of the gameplay that they played, they couldn't say anything bad about it. Like it was extremely positive across the board.
But maybe
I
people
can't
are
say
also
anything bad about it.
maybe people are also tired about Call of Duty, right? And especially with all the bullshit that Activision is going through.
Yeah.
That this is maybe a really good replacement also for a title like Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
And let's hope it be. And especially when they're still going to add so many content to the game afterwards, it could be a really big hit for multiple years to come.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
really sets a big example for the industry, especially with the game being free to play and it being a AAA title.
Yes.
I think I could see some more games in the future maybe not Call of Duty, but some of the big titles that are big FPS games going free to play. I mean, we've seen it with
FIFA.
Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah.
They've rebranded that, and it's going to be free to play. And I'm not
Yes.
really a football fan, but to me, that speaks a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
good.
And I think with Pro Evo, the reason they'd done that was because, again, there was a big thing within the community of FIFA specifically, just literally pushing out the same stuff every year. It was just a case of new kits, and players were at different clubs, and nothing else had really changed, and you were paying the same money every year. So Pro Evo did it because they were saying, right, well, instead of buying the new game every year, we'll just upgrade the one that you've got that's free to play, and we'll just push out the updates for the strips and things instead. It's
They
much
They did
easier
that last year already, right?
Yeah.
Pro Evolution Soccer from 20 to 21 was like €19. It was only a digital season update. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're going free to play. I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
But they,
I just
Yeah.
wish they did that for all the sports games, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just take a look at FIFA on the Nintendo Switch Legacy Edition.
God,
it's just the same FIFA game from like 3 or 4 years ago,
yes. But still,
rebranded
people need
sold
to
to you
stop
again.
buying it. Yeah.
for the same
People need to
price.
Yeah,
Really?
people need to stop buying Madden and FIFA and all those annual releases, because if people still going to buy it, they won't stop that shit. And Konami was with Pro Evolution probably forced to do such things because
Yeah.
they saw that the sales compared to FIFA, they needed to have an how do you say it, an innovative approach, and this is one of it. But unless people still keep buying those damn FIFAs and Maddens and NBAs, 2Ks or whatever,
F1,
that-
F1.
F1 as well. But F1 tries to be innovative, I think, in some regard. It's not really like a FIFA. But even then, with F1 titles, it gets, I think, a little bit close to that stuff. So they need to change that. And if people still buys it, then we still get the FIFAs that we get every year. And they still make 60 or 70 euros out of each title. It brings a lot of money in the table. So people need to stop buying such stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing as well, Dwayne in the chat points out, and to add to that, narrative has changed in just 1 year. It's crazy to think that Craig's debut was only a year ago. It's also a major positive for the community, is like the development community as well, to not be scared to push their game back if they need to make those additional changes polished to the game. Like, go for it. If your game needs an extra year, take an extra year. Like, no one's going anywhere. Like, they'll still want your game when it comes out. It's just like, make it the best you can do. If that means it needs pushed back by half a year, whatever it is, to make that the game you set out to make, then do that. The feedback was by the looks of things massively taken on board by 343. Like, it is such a polished game right now in terms of graphically. I mean, when we seen just you've got to think as well, this is the quality of the graphics for the multiplayer, and the multiplayer isn't where the visual spectacle is, the single player is. And if this is how good the multiplayer looks, 4K at 120, which is just ridiculous. If that's how good this multiplayer looks, like, I can't wait to see the work that they've put into the single player to get that looking great. But any final thoughts on this, chaps?
I can't wait to see Craig in 2021. He's going to look beast.
I hope he's going to be a unlockable character in some battle pass, man. I hope it.
I really hope he is included in some way, shape, like some kind of mini boss or something like that.
Yeah, or like the on the helmet, the vision stuff, that he has this Craig meme on the vision. That would be funny.
Well, there's the one thing as well that went into into Halo 5. There was a little section, one of the levels, where you're kind of walking around and you've got some of the grunts and things just sitting down, and if you walk past them, they're all having like funny conversations between each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm expecting Craig not to be like a massive role, but I'm expecting there's going to be a certain section where there's like a Craig standing there and he's kind of having a chat with somebody else and he's talking to people, but he's going to have like this ridiculously like smudged face that you can barely make out, and everyone else
Next to a
around
mini
him,
fridge.
yeah, and everyone else
would be
around him
funny
is like really high definition.
It would be absolutely funny if Craig is the only character they leave untextured. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome to see that. Chris, do you have any final points on Halo?
Well, I just had one question, I guess,
Yeah.
to everyone here. Do you think the leadership change actually made this turnaround, like to be in a year to get this game to be where it was, or
I
is it
th-
was
I
it
th-
like just getting the time to do it?
I
Is that
think
for?
yeah, I think bringing Joseph Staten back in was exactly what they needed. Um, of course, he was there as part of the teams when the most successful Halo titles were brought to play. Um, and having his kind of expertise back in and saying, right, this is what we used to do. This is how the game used to feel. This is what we need to make it feel like. This is how it needs to play. Of course, he was brought in not really to, because as he stated at the beginning, it wasn't to fix the development because the game itself was fine. It was to make sure the game itself got out in the state that it should be. So he was there really as a top tier, should we say, play tester. Someone who's going to go over and make sure that the polish was there and the gameplay was specifically the gameplay, because the key issue that they had from the last one wasn't so much that, of course, the story, but he's played the story, I think he said 3 times so far. He's played the entire campaign 2 or 3 times now. And he said that it is probably one of the best, if not the best, stories that he's played in the Halo universe. So he's extremely excited for that. And for someone that's as big in the Halo kind of universe as Joseph Staten, that's a positive thing to hear. And I don't think he's blown his own trumpet either, because he hasn't been there for the entire development cycle of the game. He's only been there for a small 1-year section. So to me, I think that has made a huge difference in that 1 year, just to get that expertise back in, because I think specifically the fact that 343 took over from Bungie, a lot of the people that worked at 343/Bungie or at Bungie now, a lot of the key figures were at Bungie that created the original Halo title. So they were working on something that they themselves as developers might have played before, but never actually developed before. To have somebody that had worked on the original title with those Bungie guys come back into the fold and say, right, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to polish the game and make it feel better. I think that has made a massive difference.
It's also Phil Spencer, right? I mean, let's be honest. A couple of years back, we had the Sea of Thieves, and they had to release it. Joe Neat especially said it. They needed to bring the game. It took too long. They needed to bring it, and it was like Meteor Core, rated at launch, but everything we are seeing this day coming in was already planned. They already want to add more stuff, but they didn't have the time, to finish it. And you can say what you want, but Phil Spencer just accepts it. It's like what Halo was like 500 million euro they pumped into it.
In the development, yes.
In the development, and then Phil Spencer just says, take your time, have another year, polish it. It's Xbox is different than in the beginning. Phil Spencer is doing a great job. He gives the studios the time, he gives them the money, but you can see he's enjoying it, right? I mean, if Sea of Thieves had got the extra year, maybe it would have been received with 80 Metacritic or 90 Metacritic. But the product wasn't finished. But now Phil is leading. The products are finished when they release. That's also good.
I think go on, Erwin.
Yeah, I think it's a big learning, like Sea of Thieves, and especially if all the backlash that they got from the first footage at E3. If they released in the same year, then Halo would be dead while we're talking. They just give it an extra year. They got Joseph Statham in as more or less a playtester, in my opinion, because everything has been set in stone story-wise and whatever. Only the way of working with different teams or whatever, and the graphics polish, let's say, that is Joseph isn't doing that, but I think his expertise and his knowledge from the past maybe made some tweaks, but most of the things were set in stone. Only think it's just polishing, and I think it's a really wise decision to delay the title, because then you get a title that everybody likes. Or else it would be dead in the water. I think it's a smart decision. I think it came from the real top, that they saw like, hey, this ain't working. There's so many negative backlash. People gonna kill this game. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. And also because of adding all those extra studios, you have so many titles in between now that they can release a little bit later.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's also due to the strategy and structure that Microsoft is having now. that okay, we can maybe delay a game, but there will be plenty games in between, and that's a good period to be in as an Xbox gamer. To be fair.
Definitely.
I mean, I was fairly critical on Halo. I put video out on it before with my feelings of a worst case scenario of what could happen if 343 fails again. And right now, I don't see that happening. They've really hit the nail on the head this time.
Let's play this time.
After the last couple of months of seeing the reveal at E3 for the multiplayer and the graphics overhaul, I'm not worried anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to embrace Halo again.
Definitely. As Mr. Boomstick is in the chat as well, Mr. Boomstick XL, Double Barrel Gaming, he said Halo Infinite is going to be in the running for Game of the Year. Lock it in. Yeah, I think from what people have been playing, from what people have said, from their feedback, it is absolutely, literally, other than some of the, like I say, the niggly bits, it is pretty much 99% positive coming out the back of that, and that is really, really, really great to hear. And to the point where I was adamant I wasn't going to be jumping into a technical flight before launch because I just wanted to play the finished product. I've actually signed up for the technical flight.
Oh,
So
Nice.
I want to play it for myself now. I want to see what
Yes.
it feels like. I want to actually try it out. So
Yeah.
we'll get a good group of people in. We'll play some more, and of course it's going to be even more polished compared to what Vin and General played as well. With some more maps and things like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing it for myself, how it feels and things like that before it goes live. So I'm really looking forward to it. To a final point as well on the Sea of Thieves thing, I think you've got a good point there. And again, it kind of marries up with what Erwin was saying with Phil Spencer. I think the support that Phil has given these studios, as well as the trust he's given them. Sea of Thieves being one major one. That game had to launch, but he's also given them the support, the time, and the trust to get that game where it needs to be. And now look at that game. Look, it is absolutely flying. It's like 15 to 20 million active players, like on a weekly basis. It's absolutely crazy. Like that game is taking off. And it's
Almost 40 million.
It's such a dedicated community. Like it's absolutely insane, and it's well deserved because that game has so much content in it now. There's so much you can do. Of course, they've just released a major expansion there with the first major collaboration and expansion with Disney on the Pirate's Life. Just awesome to see that game and its future has legs. And I think Halo is a free to play, and I think this is why kind of Phil Spencer's pushing it to be kind of this 10-year thing. I think he sees the game has legs. Specifically when you have a look at things like campaign expansions that you can do now, the tester for them with campaign expansions. You're welcome, General C. Very generous $4.99 super chat there.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Had to be done.
You're welcome, General.
Very welcome. Very welcome. But yeah, I think he's got a good point from what their tester was Gears of War, Gears 5 and the campaign expansion, and the positive feedback they got from Hivebusters was I think reaffirmed in their suspicions that right, okay, we can pull out a top tier AAA expansion for a game and have it completely separate from the main storyline and still be substantial enough. And I think if they'd got this 10-year plan for Halo, they can have this substantial, say, 25, 30, 40-hour single-player game. A multiplayer that is free to play and can go by itself anyway. And then throughout this period from Halo, then put in these large campaign expansion, these separate missions, these additional stories that broaden the universe. You can go into the universe of ODSTs, for instance, as a campaign add-on. You can go into other Spartans as campaign add-ons. You can go from different, there is literally possibilities that they can, whatever they want to do, they can do it. And I think having that faith, that support from the hierarchy like Phil and Satya Nadella, because he's really backed Xbox this gen. I mean, he's to the point where he's putting in some major investment, and he's personally coming out and saying, listen, this is just the start. Like, we're really ramping up our investment in the gaming sector because we see its value now. where they never actually saw its value. To them, it was just a loss. They were ready to write it off.
But
Yeah, they were going to sell it off, or there's a rumor they were going to.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were just going to bin it entirely.
But he's sporting it like Bill Gates does almost
Yeah.
in the beginning of the Xbox, right?
Yeah,
I
getting
think-
the Rock on stage.
Yes, yeah. And I think with the support in the games, look at Forza Horizon 4. That's another title that they have so many after DLCs and cars and whatever, expansions. I think it's just a strategy to keep the guys and people playing on Xbox Live and on Game Pass, just to draw in people, just to make them, let's say, appetite and hungry every time to play the game again, right? And I think like CFT, Forza Horizon, and then Halo, and I think it's just a strategy for long-lasting games. It's a good strategy to be on, and let's see what the future will bring. But it's super exciting.
Yes, extremely exciting, extremely exciting. The next game that people have had the pleasure of playing this week, I don't know whether or not Erwin's had a chance to jump into it yet, but that was the Ascent.
Nope.
You haven't had a chance. I know Pat is pretty much addicted to it. He can't he can't get off it. I think he's currently playing it as we're talking.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Click.
Do I have to check your profile? Do I?
Achievement unlocked. I heard an achievement unlocked as well.
But yes, everyone who has had a chance, and of course Erwin can ask these questions as well now. But for those who have a chance to play the Ascent, it is an awesome game. I will say from my personal opinion so far, they have, and this is it. Everyone again, and I have to put these caveats in because I think people literally don't give people credit where credit is due these days in terms of development studio sizes. But this is a 12-man team that's created this game. That isn't large by any means. That is still a relatively small game. And it has been given the public eye as if it was a AAA title. It's been given that kind of push and that backing by not only Microsoft, but by the media. Like, this is a major title for Xbox, the Ascent. And it is an exclusive. But it is also an indie, even though it's been hyped like a AAA. But some awesome news that's come out the back of that as well. They've hit the largest game to come out of Curve Digital so far. It is the biggest title, the most successful title to come out of that publisher, and it's only been out like less than a week. 5 million. I think they've made 5 million in revenue so far, which is again their largest title to date.
In a weekend,
in a weekend, yeah, extremely successful.
It's crazy.
So congratulations to them. But I want to get the negatives out of the way from my viewpoint first and foremost. And again, I have to give them a little bit of leeway here, primarily because of the development size and the development team and the pressure they've had on them, specifically from the community and from the media, just due to the sheer hype around this game prior to launch. There have been some, not game-breaking bugs, but there's some things that need to be ironed out. The game crashes frequently. Not frequently as in literally every time you turn the game on, but enough to sometimes make us stop playing it. The other night I was playing the Ascent, turned it on, started the game, it crashed, literally crashed to dash, and I just turned Flight Sim on. I was like, yeah, doesn't matter. I'm not doing that tonight. But it's crashed to dash 3 times, I think, since I've played, which is unfortunate. Sometimes, specifically in co-op, has a lot of bugs.
Super chat.
Co-op.
Super chat.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Chris. It's Chris.
Hey, Chris. Thank you,
$5
sir.
with 1 hour, 1 decision.
With a super sticker.
What a super sticker.
Thank you
Thanks
for the
for the
super
sticker.
sticker. Yeah.
Thank you for the
Awesome.
sticker.
$5 super sticker. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, and the bugs that are in multiplayer are more prevalent than they are in single player, which is, I suppose, good news. If you're playing it by yourself, you probably won't see as many. But in multiplayer, if, for instance, somebody goes sometimes, and I've had this quite a few times now, with Pat, I had it as well when I jumped in with Pat the other day. He jumped into one of the stores to buy a weapon skin or have a look at the weapon skins. I went to go into that same store he was looking at to buy a weapon skin, and I could see the characters moving around, but none of the menus come up, and then I couldn't get myself out of that menu. I was stuck. So then I had to close the game down entirely, reboot it, get back into the game, join it. And that has happened on multiple occasions. We have had some audio bugs, although not not the worst. More weapons, so it sounds like your gun's firing when it's not.
Oh yeah.
And then it kind of goes off into the distance, so it's as if you fired your gun over there and it keeps firing, but the further you walk away, the sound just disappears in the distance, which is really weird. So it's little bugs like that, but the major one they need to get on is the stability. Now they have released, and this is why I put the caveat in there. They have released a rather large update today. I think it's about 5-6 gig today for the game, so that hopefully should iron out a lot of the issues they've had. I'm sure that was to do with co-op, with regards game crashes, audio bugs, and things like that. So fingers crossed, a lot of the things I've kind of pointed out there have been ironed out. But onto the positive side of things, the game is beautiful. It's an absolutely gorgeous game. Really great kind of design work that they've got going on. The actual gameplay loop is really fun. The weapons are great. The how manic it is great. The soundtrack is awesome. Like me and Pat were playing this little section the other night, and it was kind of like a little horde section. You had to wait for you click the thing. It said, right, okay, you've got 2 minutes to kind of defend the area, and there was so many kind of different things coming in. But it's also such a brutal game. Like if you if you make one wrong mistake, or don't heal each other, or don't get in the right position at the right time, you are dead. You are a goner. And you can't, and your health, it's a bit like you get into this down mode as well. So when your health starts to decrease, and you've got to wait for somebody to revive you. But there is no, like, the enemies don't have a cover mode, so they just charge. They just keep charging at you. They don't try to hide anywhere. They just run at you. So if one of them goes down and they're not in a position to save, that's it. Everyone dies. And if they die, the whole group dies, and you've got to start again.
Yeah.
But it is also a positive thing, because it's so manic. But the music that went along with that was awesome as well. It kind of really hyped you up. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Only other side note, and we've discussed this before the show went live, I don't think anybody really has been able to follow what is going on with the story. It seems like the story's getting left in the wayside.
Yep.
Is there a story?
There's apparently a story. I don't think anyone's really pointed it out.
I mean,
yeah.
I tried
Nobody
to
leaked
post
it?
the story, but I couldn't.
Nobody leaked the story.
On this occasion, can someone leak the story so I know what's going on?
Please spoil the story.
Yeah, but it's hard. It is really hard to follow. Like the game itself, it's more of a, it's so strange. It's like the entire game is side missions. That's the way that I can kind of put it to you. Like you pick up a side mission, you go, okay, I've got to go over here to do this. You don't really know why you're doing it or what the greater purpose is. You just know that you've got to do it. That's pretty much all I can explain. But it's saved. The only thing is, I say, in this strange kind of mixture, is it is saved by the fact that the gameplay loop and the gameplay itself is fun, and it's really fun and good to play. If it was the fact that if the game itself was shit and it played shit, it would be a much larger issue. But I think the fact that the gameplay is so good really saves it. You can tickle my beard. But all in all, it is, especially because it's in Game Pass anyway. Again, congratulations to the team for having those amazing sales milestones initially, and being the most successful game to come out of Curve Digital to date, despite being in Game Pass, which is also a massive positive for Game Pass as well. It shows that those people who have played it on Game Pass and played it on Steam or played it on Game Pass PC have obviously doubled down and said, right, this game is good and I like it and I'm going to buy it. So congrats to them. Absolutely awesome work. But I want to get the feelings from the rest of the group. And Pat, you've been, of course, because you didn't play Halo and you didn't have that many questions on Halo, I want to put this question to you first and foremost, because you are addicted to the Ascent right now. How do you find the Ascent? What is your major positives and what are your negatives?
So yeah, like you said, I'm pretty hooked on the game, so I'm really liking it. As you also said, is that the story isn't like I don't really follow the story, you know. Just skip the cutscenes and get that kind of stuff. I just want to play. Uh, so uh, like the graphics are really good. I'm loving it. Like there's so many things happening. I think also Archimedes put it out on his video that he posted about the Ascent. Like there's so much happening around you, sounds, movement, that kind of stuff, and that keeps amazing me all the time. Sometimes I just stand still and look around to see what's happening, you know. So that's pretty cool about the game. Um, like the combat, I really like the different kind of guns that you have, from big machine guns to shotguns, handguns. You know, you can choose whatever you want, upgrade it. So there's so much things to do. Collect armor and that kind of stuff. Even your character, every time it looks much cooler. You know, like trying to see. Okay, you. I think you have like head armor, body, and legs, and you can actually um, complete a whole set of your armor, like uh, for like one suit. You know, so that's also like a challenge that I have for myself to see if I can find all the pieces. And one of the negatives that, well, not one, but I got a few. One of them is the map, because it's really hard to see on the map where you are, which direction you want to go. Fast travel is one of the things that I really like to have in this game, because sometimes you get stuck in an area and you need to walk all the way back to where you were. No, so I hope they bring a fast travel in this game. You have it with the train or a taxi, but still you need to find a train station or a taxi spot. So yeah, that's one of the two of the negatives that I have for now. So, and like you also said, the crashing of the game. I've noticed that when you play in co-op, is that it crashes more than you play on solo, on single player. So yeah, I hope with the update they fix it, and we're good to go. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty addicted. My character is I'm think I'm around level 21 or 22 at the moment. So
Oof, you're
yeah,
flying
been
past me. I
grinding
think
it.
I'm only on like 13. I think. But you know what's really great to see
Yeah.
as well, though, is Erwin, Vin, General, Chris. We all play kind of every version of any game anyway to test it out. But Pat, for yourself, and you'll admit this, before kind of you were really in this kind of podcasting thing with us, you were really
hmm
kind of set on your set games. You were playing your shooters and your FIFAs and things like that, but you weren't really kind of broadening your gaming horizon.
Yeah.
Um, but over the last few months, you've started to kind of go outside of your own comfort zone and try new experiences and things like that. So it's awesome to me to see you kind of go out and say, right, okay, I'll give the Ascent. It's not normally my kind of game, but I'll give it a go, and then really
hmm
enjoy it. So for me, it's great to see somebody who wouldn't usually try something like that pick it up, play it for the first time, and say, actually, I love this game. Like I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. Yeah, like you said a few podcasts back, I admitted that I don't play this kind of games, but you know, like it looked so good, so I couldn't resist to actually try it, and yeah, I'm pretty addicted to it. So
So high praise so far.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I've heard people giving it high rate. So for now, I'll definitely give it a 9 out of 10. So waiting for the update and maybe the few changes that they do in the game, and then for sure it's going to be a 10 out of 10 for me.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. General C, what are your thoughts on the game so far, brother? What would you like to see changed, fixed, and what are your positive impressions of it?
My positive impressions is it's very addicting. When I'm playing it, I don't want to put it down. Again, with the story, I'm finding myself hard to focus on it, and you've said that as well, and Pat said that. So I think that's just like normal thing between a lot of people. They find the story really hard to
Yeah,
focus on.
we had another chap in chat there before. Harley. Harley said exactly the same thing. He was like, "What? There's a story?"
And I tried to focus on the story. I mean, I'm planning to do an episode of Pass or Play, which I hope I can record tomorrow. I've wrote the script. There are a few things I need to go back and change because of now the update's out. I want to see if these issues are fixed with the bugs and all that. The worst bugs I have had have been in co-op. Like I was playing this with Stu, moderator of Midweek Mix Up,
Yeah.
and we had a crash that happened to the both of us at exactly the same time. That's never happened to me on any game before.
A synchronized crash.
So yeah, like those issues to crash in. I've had the sound bug as well, where like you hear the gun firing, and then the further you get away from where you were shooting, you can still hear it. But other than that, it is very addicting. The gameplay loop is fun. I love the armor. I love the upgrading the weapons. The only thing I didn't really go much on was the character customization. It's very simple, but again, you don't really need to focus on that too much because most of the time your characters are armored up. You're not going to see them anyway, so that doesn't really have to be too in depth. But I'm having a blast with this game, and I'm hoping that once I've updated it later, it's going to be me running through as much of this game as possible with a few friends.
Yes, most definitely.
Sure.
Most definitely. It's really fun when you start getting loads of people in it as well. I think the most we've had is like three people in it. Was it?
Yeah, you, Shom, and me.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
really good. That was good fun. That was when you were first starting. I think you've taken over now. I think.
Yeah, I just when I joined you guys, I just started it, I think. So I was like level 5 or something, and that's like what 3-4 days ago or something.
Yeah.
So Dutch was carrying you, and now it's going to be the other way around.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. I just keep. My problem is I just keep jumping into bloody Flight Simulator, like just flying around.
Yeah.
I really have the feeling when I watch the game that it gives me some Microsoft Minecraft Dungeons feel of the game, like that type of game with the Ascent. Is that a little bit true or no? Gameplay wise,
It's definitely like a Diablo
Yes.
action style.
Yeah.
game,
Yeah,
I would say.
Diablo with guns.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's with arguably much better graphics. I think and it's hard to really explain. Of course, you can watch it on there, but when you see it on a big glorious 4K TV as well, seeing just the amount of particle effects that are kicking off on screen at any one moment is just insane. I love as well one other thing as well, and that people might kind of miss, not intentionally, just there's so much happening in the world. Like the world is kind of, I wouldn't say it's completely alive, but it is to a point. There's like little set moments that happen in the background that people don't notice. Like there's a bridge that you need to walk across, and all of a sudden this kind of vehicle flies through the air and smashes into the bridge and blows it up. So it kind of cuts off an area for you to walk through. But if you're just kind of rushing through and doing your thing, you probably just miss it.
Yeah.
I don't actually think I saw that, to be honest.
Yeah. It's basically in the main city. When you're walking around, you go up there. It's near the back end. You're kind of going up all the lifts and things like that to go up and down. There's a bridge that runs across from one part of the area to the other side, and then the only reason you know it's blowing up if you've missed it is if you go to the bridge and it's missing. It's like all destroyed. But if you actually catch it, it's really mad. It's literally just one of these spacecraft just flies through and it all blows up, and like you see all these characters flying around and things like that. It's one of these random world events that happens that kind of changes the level.
But like you also what General C mentioned is that when you shoot the gun, you can keep hearing the sound. I have the same with the I have like a javelin dash. So when I press A, instead of rolling, I dash, and that also sometimes gets stuck. So you hear a really weird sound, and it keeps going all the time, So I'm looking around me and I don't see any enemies or something. But yeah, that the sound glitches are pretty annoying sometimes. But it's still the game is pretty good. So guys, if you've not played it yet, go do it, and yeah, man, you're gonna love it.
I've also got some positive news as well that one of the devs of the game mentioned on Twitter, because a lot of people might have noticed, and if you've listened to Archie's or listened or watched Archimedes' review of the game, he mentions that there is no ray tracing there at launch. The fact is, in fact, that there was ray tracing implemented, but it was broken. The devs have already come out and said we are already working on a patch to bring in DLSS, so dynamic deep learning super sampling, into the game on the console, or the equivalent, so super resolution, as well as a full ray tracing implementation into the game as well. So if you think it looks pretty now, just wait until they've actually got that patch rolled out, because it's gonna also improve it dramatically. Of course, for people that don't understand how ray tracing works, it's not just about kind of reflective surfaces, etc., but it really changes the dynamic of how things look, how particle effects kind of reflect off different surfaces, how lighting reflects off different surfaces, and really the ambience of the area. So it might look pretty now, but when they've got their vision for the game implemented like they should do, like it is on PC at the minute, it's a different experience altogether. So that is being worked on, and that is also being rolled out along with the bug patches. Vin, what is your thoughts?
Sir.
What is your thoughts on the game so far?
So far, yeah, I only played like 2 times now. Yesterday and the day before going to night shift.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking forward to it, to be honest. It didn't look like my type of game. But we've spoken a lot, privately and with Archimedes and Mr. Grannell. So I decided to try it, and so far it's fun. It's like people are saying, like you guys are saying, and people in chat. I thought there would be a story, but I'm just running around shooting stuff. It's fun to do. I like it. I really like the lightning effects. In the game, like it's how you say, difficult. If you don't follow the route to where you have to go, and you take the wrong road, like
You get lost quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not it's not really lost. It's I'm like the type of game, I like to explore things, right? So
Yeah.
I'm looking for a chest, I'm looking for treasure, that sort of stuff. And then if you go the wrong route, like you take 5 steps, there's like 20 level 30 guys shooting at you, and one hit, you're
I had
dead,
that as well. I just wanted to look around, and then I ended up walking into a level 17 area, and I was only level 5.
Yeah, me, Shom, and Pat did the same thing. We walked into this
Yeah.
level 15 area, and we were all like level 9, and
Yeah.
we're like, ah, shit.
And it's only like one. It's only like one stairs, right? You see, you have to go. You have to go north. And you're like, there's a stairs here. Maybe there's a chest downstairs, right? You take down the stairs, and bomb, you're dead. And I'm like, what the hell?
It's not even a microsecond, and you're dead.
And I'm like, what the hell? Come on, man! Give me something to explore, right? But so far it's a fun game. It's not perfect, because of the box for me. Then with the sound and I had missions. I had to go into an area, and the area didn't open. I could press whatever I want, reload the game. Well, it just don't. The area won't open. So it's a side quest. So maybe I will do that later. But I continue with the others.
But I had the same with the side quest. Is that it sent me to an area, and it seems that you have these cyber decks, so you can hack doors and that kind of stuff. But the cyber deck you can upgrade, and for that door I needed to hire an higher upgrade for my cyber deck. So
But I'm level 12 now, right? But and that mission is level 5, so I don't have the hacking skills yet. So how can they make the mission for level 5 if you don't have the hacking skills at level 12? Put the mission further on in the game, though.
Yes. It's pretty weird that you can go to a side quest guy, go enter that mission, and it sends you to a mission that you cannot do. So it's pretty weird. But I just before the podcast I upgraded everything that I can, and I can do it now. So yeah, you need to be
Can you help me get through the game easier?
Oh, yeah, of course. No problem.
Chris, have you had a chance to play the game yet? I know obviously you usually do the randomizer to play games, but have you had a chance to jump on the Ascent? And what are your thoughts on it so far?
Yeah, I was super excited to play this game, and I had to break the cycle of playing a random game to do this. So I was, it was really cool. And actually, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this got me more excited for the cyberpunk theme than Cyberpunk 2077 did. So I was like the like you guys all said already, like the way that the world just felt so alive, like all the little details that they put into the game. It was really awesome to see that. And um, I'm surprised how many guys, like I haven't had any bugs or seen any bugs that you guys saw. The one major thing that I saw was in the menu when I was trying to put like skill points in, like my skill point, the amount of skill points was just not there in the menu, which is weird.
Okay.
But I didn't see any of the audio or anything. And I played it on my PC, on Xbox, and I tried it on the cloud too. So like that was kind of weird that didn't see any of those issues. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And like you guys said, the story, I was like, I don't care about the story. I just want to keep shooting things.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that felt
Yeah.
It was fun. Like I mean, I hope the enemy types vary a little bit more, but I'm only probably 2 or 3 hours into the game right now. So but I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. And the fact that you told me that it was a very small team, it like makes it even more impressive that this game came out as good as it is right now.
Yeah,
the fact that it's gonna get better.
12 man team.
Yeah,
Which is just insane.
so that's awesome.
Also, not as broken as Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that had a story.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So, apples and eggs.
Yeah.
I still have the shield here. It's still sealed.
Did you guys purposely put the two bald guys like on the same side of the view over here?
I mean, I've got one semi-bald guy over here.
I mean, like I just want to make sure it wasn't
That wasn't purposeful.
separate us to the side here.
Segregate the bald people.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be bald too. You don't know.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah.
I think it was 1 week. It was kind of just a couple of weeks ago. It was just all bald people. I think it was only one person with hair, and that was Erwin. Oh dear me. But yes, before we get on to the final topic, I want to ask Erwin, get him into the chat about one of the games that he's been playing the most about that we haven't played at all. And that is F1. The new F1, you've been playing that a little bit now with Chris Grannell.
Yes.
How are you finding that game so far? What do you like about it? What do you want to change or hope they change?
Well, my last F1 game was 2019. And I stopped halfway the season, didn't play it, just found some other games that interest me more, like Ascent Corsa, Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, whatever. Yeah. So the Formula 1 games never really clicked, it seems, with me. And that was also mainly due because I play on the racing on the racing wheel, as you can see here, and I always had some trouble driving it, especially with all assist off. And this game I just started with all assist off, so no traction control, no whatever, and it felt really good. I had an instant click with it. I'm now back to medium traction control. Because I just spin out just once or two times in the race and I completely destroyed my car. So I make it a little bit easier. But what I do like is that you have a co-op career. And to be honest, I don't know if that was in 2020 or not. But it's really nice to do a co-op career mode. So you and your mate are together in the same team. You're rivals then automatically. And you want to achieve the best for the team, which is really nice. So that's a season which I started with Chris Grannell. And you have also the story mode, right? So you had this a little bit more story in the game as well the previous years, but now you have the breaking point, and it's kind of cringy, but you have more, let's say, more feeling now about the driver and what is going on. His family is calling, his mother calls all the time, which is ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't know if Max Verstappen, his mother, always calls him. Probably his father does, but so the breaking point is quite interesting. And just the general feel of the game. The graphics looks absolutely beautiful. I think they changed the physics quite heavily also compared to the last games. And like I said, it's just an instant click for me. Plus that the Formula One season that we are having now, currently, they're on the summer break. But the previous races, 11 races that we had, I believe, they were so exciting. Between Max and Lewis, Lewis Hamilton. Though that is a titan battle going on, and between legends, let's say, like Senna and Prost was back in the day, or Michael Schumacher with Damon Hill, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you have those big battles, which automatically, I think, triggers also people to play Formula One because it's really exciting. And next year you're gonna have new cars, so that will be a big shift in the whole Formula One on itself, and that will be different for the game as well. But yeah, I think it's doing well. I didn't play the online bit still because I heard it's on a Forza Motorsport level that it's crashing into people like crazy. So I'm probably not gonna jump in the multiplayer anytime soon. But the AI also in the game is if not the best AI ever I played on a racing game. It's so amazingly good, and you can change the difference from 50 or 40 to up to 110, and you can really find the sweet spot for yourself, how far you want to go. And the battling with the AI is just superb. It's like I said, it's I think it's the best in any racing game so far. So the offline part is so super good that I will be probably spending a lot of time with, and I love streaming it on YouTube as well together with Chris. And he cannot wait to get the wheel as well because he's still now on a controller. He will get his direct drive wheel, I believe, somewhere early October for Fanatec. So maybe we're going to start the season all over again. But yeah, it's exciting. It's a very good title. I like it a lot.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, it's good to see both you and Chris having a laugh. And I think as soon as you've got those, have you managed to figure out the party chat audio thing? Because I think the few of them that I've watched, it's kind of bugged out for you.
Yeah, so somehow I was with Emu yesterday, Peripluk in the chat, and he was on streaming on Twitch as well. And in the party chat, there wasn't the box that you can think that you want to share your audio. When Pat was coming in, suddenly it came about that I can share my audio on Pat's stream. And somehow I want to have that with Chris as well while I am streaming on Twitch, that he will just go in my party and you can hear him talking as well, because we had some really funny episodes, especially the first one where we were constantly messing up. Chris I think drove his front spoiler off like 30 times, and I'm not over exaggerating. But it was super funny. It would be even funnier when we can hear him. Yeah. So I don't know if the Elgato that I ordered, Chris or Drew, that will make some change in that I can share maybe party chat. I don't know if there's yes.
Yeah, records everything.
Yes. So that will be perfect. Because it's funny to play with Chris, especially when he is an ex-developer of Formula One. Yeah. And I can say that Chris on a pad is actually pretty decent. So I wonder how we will be on the wheel. But yeah, his comment together with me on the streams are very entertaining, and I hope everybody will tune in the next time that I will stream in the coming days. So, but no, it's I can really recommend the game, and I believe that Formula One 2020 is going to be on Game Pass Ultimate from the 12th of August, I believe, also together with Dirt Rally 2.0, and Dirt 4, I believe. So there are a couple games coming to Game Pass Ultimate because of EA Play that is connected to Game Pass Ultimate. So you will be able to play a lot of racing games in the coming period. I tweeted about it today. So that will be a good way to start in. And I believe 2020, I never played it, but I heard it's a very decent game as well. So if you don't want to buy it 21, just buy it or just get it on Game Pass and play it for free.
But Erwin,
yeah,
I will send you how to fix that party issue. I got the solution from Captain Clueless.
Okay.
I will send it to you on WhatsApp. Yeah.
It's not that difficult.
No, it's not that difficult.
No, because if, for example, if I start a party and I'm streaming, then it broadcasts also the audio of the party, but you also need to accept in the party your audio. So go to the party and on top it shows broadcast my audio. That's it. That's what
No,
I
no,
think.
no.
it
You have to
is.
do it in your
No.
settings. There's like your sound is through a headset or speakers or headset and speakers, right? And you have to
Uh-huh.
you have to select headset and speakers, and then
Yeah.
everybody can mark in the chat
Oh.
that to send with audio.
Yes,
That's
because
the thing.
because I checked that, Pat, last time, and I didn't saw the option. I checked it like 3 times, and Chris also, so we didn't saw it. And I think this could be the option
Yeah,
to
Captain
solve it.
Clueless,
Yeah.
Captain Clueless sent it
Okay.
to me, and then we used it on when I was streaming. We used it, and you could hear everybody on Apex.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because when we are streaming together and playing the co-op career in F1, it's ridiculously fun,
Yeah.
especially when he puts his car again in the wall. So yeah, we will try that, Finn. So thanks a lot. And yeah, like I said, I'm getting an Elgato as well
Yeah, I'll
tomorrow,
send
I
it to you
believe.
on WhatsApp. Yeah, what
Okay,
Captain
perfect.
Clueless sent me.
Okay, yeah, Captain Clueless is very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
he
a
is.
lot.
Awesome stuff.
Cool.
But no, it's great to hear that you are really thoroughly enjoying that. And the streams are great. Of course, it'll be even better as soon as we can hear kind of both sides, because I think it'll be hilarious to listen to both of
Yeah,
you.
it really is.
On to the final topic of this week. It is running through. It's a nice, easy, and light topic, and we'll see what everyone's thoughts are and kind of what they're excited to play. But this month on Game Pass, so just going to run through the list of all the games coming to Game Pass this month. It is another great month for Game Pass. Let's go through them. So first of all, on August 5th, we have Library of Runa, Curse of the Dead Gods, Dodgeball Academia, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Luminous Remastered, Skate 3 on Cloud, because it's already on there, and Starmancer. On August 10th, we have Dirt 4, Dirt Rally, Dirt 2, Rally 2.0, F1 2020, and Grid. On August 12th, you have Art of Rally. On
Yes.
August 13th, Hades is coming to console for the first time, and straight into Game Pass. For those of all that love card games, if you are into that, a very, I don't know, and by card games I mean more poker-style card games, old school. For PC, you have the Microsoft Solitaire Collection. And the two larger titles, of course, outside of Hades, coming to the service this month. You have 12 Minutes and then Psychonauts 2, which is the big title for Xbox this month on Game Pass. So first of all, to Chris this time around, out of that big list of games coming this month for Game Pass, what's the major one that sticks out to you? What are the games that you're looking forward to the most out of that?
I kept hearing that Hades is a very good game. I'm not. If you've listened to my podcast, I'm not a very big fan of roguelikes, but everyone keeps saying that this is a very, very good game, and obviously won a lot of awards and stuff like that. So I'm ready to give it a shot, because I saw it going on sale a couple of times on Steam, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to come to Game Pass. So I'm like, I just held on. I just held on as much as I could, and here it is. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Psychonauts 2 because that game's been coming out it's been in the works for forever. So I'm glad it's actually coming out too. And I want to play Skate again because that was a fun game. I'm super excited to play that too. So those are my picks.
Awesome stuff. General C, out of that whopping list of games coming out this month, what are your key ones that you're looking out for? What are you most looking forward to play?
Psychonauts 2 is definitely on the list, but I've never played the original, so I'm going to have to go back and play that as soon as possible. Hades 2 is on the list, and that solitaire game, that does sound promising to me. Maybe I'll do a partial play on it.
That's a good one.
Definitely should.
Does that depend? Is it a pass? Is it a play if all the hand comes out correctly for you, or pass if it doesn't?
Pass if it doesn't.
Awesome stuff. So Psychonauts 12 is. I'm surprised no one's really mentioned 12 minutes that much there, but
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But you're
stuff.
still up. Shh, shh,
Yeah.
You're still up.
Yeah, Vin, out of that big list of games there that I've mentioned, what are the ones that you're looking forward to most to play this month?
The most looking forward the most to Art of Rally, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's the. It looks like the RC games from Rare. You know, that's on Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then modern, and it really looks like fun, and you know the graphics are a bit like Sea of Thieves, and I really like that style. So that's my most anticipated, and then Psychonauts 2. I played the first one, never really got into it. You know, I don't know why. Maybe because of the graphics these days. You know, it's hard for me then to go back to that. But the new game, you know, I don't know. It was not on my list, to be honest. But the more I see, the more I start to like it. You know, the craziness, the colors, the Jack Black, you know, sentences and all of the things. You know, I'm looking forward to it now. So that's about the 2 of this month then.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Pat, out of that long list of Game Pass specific games, what are you looking forward to the most?
Did I mention 12 minutes? Oh yeah, I did. So yeah, I'm
spoiled
I'm
that.
looking for.
Was
I'm
that
looking
story?
forward to 12 minutes. Game looks really interesting. We didn't see a lot of the game, so yeah, looking forward to that one. And Formula One, because I like racing games. That's all. Because also when I watch Erwin's stream, it like, oh man, I want to play too, you know, and I don't want to download 2019. No, I want to do 2020. So yeah, I'm looking forward for Formula One, and maybe I can play some games with Erwin as well. So
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Erwin, out of that long
Yeah, so-
list. I mean, there's a lot of racing
Yeah, so-
games on there, so
Yeah. So probably all the racing games.
Promo.
So I actually need that extra storage, for fuck's sake. But yeah, just slip it
just
in
for
there, it's
racing
okay.
games.
Oh, yes, exactly, for racing games only. But I think because I actually really like Dirt 5, so probably then starting off with Dirt 4, because I never played Dirt 4. And 5 was actually really good. It's on Gamepass, I believe, as well. So if people didn't play it yet, I can highly recommend playing Dirt 5. So Dirt 4, and I think Dirt Rally 2.0, which is a simulator game, which I will crash like crazy, probably because it's so realistic. And rally, some rally games click on me, and Dirt Rally so far not so much in the past. So let's see if I can improve on that one. Formula One, maybe if Pat wants to do it, also some multiplayer races or whatever. Let's see if we can try to do that. And I need to download that for some co-op streaming or whatever. 12 minutes, of course, because I don't want to play a lot, so it's only 12 minutes. Don't have a lot of time.
good one.
Damn it, I should have made that pun.
I don't have so much time.
You only have 12 minutes for the game, yeah.
Is that 12 minutes in between races?
It's a nice short game.
Agree, I'm sure.
It's called
Speed
12
run it.
minutes because that's how
Erwin.
long the game is, yeah.
Speed run it, Erwin, speed run it.
And it's on quick resume, so oh shit.
You're going to be in at least 10 if it's on quick resume.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it's gonna be a quickie. It's gonna be a quickie.
You're used to that.
Yes, exactly. The full 2 minutes or a quickie.
Oh,
man.
Jesus.
So, and then, of course, Psychonauts 2. I really like how the game looks and how they improved it. But let's better stop. Oh shit! Oh man! And that was it.
He's done
What are
for now.
What are your games through?
Yeah, so the ones I'm looking forward to the most really are Art of Rally, Hades, 12 minutes, and Psychonauts 2. pretty straightforward. I've had my eye on them for a while. To be honest, I didn't realize Curse of the Dead Gods wasn't going in there. I want to give a shout out to that because I will be picking that up. And thanks to the Goat for pointing that one out. Of course, we had him on the indie show, the indie community showcase. He had that on his list of games to look out for. So I'll be playing Curse of the Dead Gods as well. So I'm really looking forward to all of them. As a side note, the 2 or 3 major releases, of course, in terms of games as well, outside of Game Pass this month. Of course, even though we've mentioned this, Madden, the new Madden comes out at the end of the month for the Americans or English American football fans out there. The new Madden comes out. You also have Alien Fireteam Elite coming out as well. Which is essentially like a Back 4 Blood, but in the Halo universe. So that should be interesting. And then last but not least, of course, we all know it, and we're all really excited for it. That, of course, is Song of Iron by Joe, which comes out on the 31st of August. So I'll be picking that up as well. And as I've mentioned before, we'll have Joe on the show on the 1st of September, the day after launch, to give away 4 copies of that game to our awesome community and awesome chat. So all you've got to do to be in with a chance of winning a copy of Song of Iron is literally just come to the chat, enjoy the show on September the 1st. I'll get Joe to pick a couple of winners, and the panel will pick a couple of winners out of the awesome community and chat that spend your time and take your time out of your days to come and watch us and listen to us fools talk about video games.
Yes.
That's literally all you've got to do. Is just come and support us like you usually do, and you've got an awesome chance of picking up Song of Iron day after launch for the awesome price of free. So there you go.
Super chat.
Yeah, another super note. There is a super chat. Pink Vibes. Thank you, Tamara.
Vibes.
Tijgertje.
Thank you.
Great show, guys.
€10 super chat. I'll let Erwin read it out.
Great show, guys. Keep up the good work. You guys are awesome. Much love, your biggest fan.
Aw.
Season love, I think.
Thanks,
wish
Tamara.
Let's go. Let's
Probably the
go.
beard. Oh, Pat, sorry. Let's still in.
Let's go.
Thanks, Pink. Thanks,
Thank you
Pinky
very
Vibes
much.
and Pat.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolutely awesome show and a great pleasure to have both Chris and the General C on this evening. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you to the awesome chat as well. We will round off by doing our outroductions. First of all, with our special guests. I'm going to start with Chris. Chris, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on, brother. Awesome to meet you in person for a change there. And I look forward to continue to see what kind of goes on with your show, how your show progresses, and working with you going forward to see where we can get that show kind of into the eyes, ears, and minds of more people as well going forwards. If you let people know where people can find you, where people can listen to your show, take it away.
Sure. Well, thank you so much again, guys. This was really awesome. Finally got to meet everyone and have a bunch of laughs with all of you because zaniness over here. But yeah, you guys can. We are on Twitter. TC1H1D is our Twitter handle, and we are on Anchor, but our podcast is in all the major podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, you name it. If you don't have it on there, let me know and I'll try to get it on there. So but yeah, it's just a little passion project, or we're almost running into our year as well.
Oh, congratulations.
November, yeah.
Nice.
So it's been fun. I've learned a lot, and got to meet a lot of cool people like you guys. So yeah, I just hope to keep it going.
Oh, most definitely. And we've dragged you into our community now, so unfortunately you're stuck with us. So
Yes, very active community. And I'm actually really surprised how many people play F1. I'm not really into racing. I do play it, but I'm not very good at it. But I do enjoy the concept of playing a racing game, and getting my butt kicked, if anything. So
Let's team up, Chris, sometime. No worries. Just add
Yeah.
me Forza Erwin on Xbox and let's go for it, mate.
yeah, for sure.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. But yes, thank you very much for coming today, Chris. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, the General C, another awesome Xbox community creator. I've had the pleasure of the introduction from Gamers Watch crew, who have joined us, of course, as part of the Midweek Mix-Up Collective. Another awesome bunch of guys, and they kind of introduced me to yourself. Specifically, kind of just said, "Listen, can you give the General any kind of advice or help or anything like to the same level that you've given us, if possible?" And but even then, I've had the pleasure of jumping into party chats and playing games with you recently as well. Absolutely awesome dude. Pleasure to have you on the show, and great content as well. If people haven't already listened to either Chris or General C, definitely jump on and listen to them, because they've both got really great twists on how to kind of present a kind of game review, specifically within the Xbox content, and on Gamepass. So it is really good to see both of them spins, and they're both really interesting to listen to. Chris, really impressed with the not Chris, sorry, General. I'm getting mixed up now because I'm speaking to you both at the same time. General, really impressed with the most recent video as well on Hellblade. Really well done.
Thank you very much.
And great work. But yes, absolutely awesome to have you on. If you let people know where they can find you, brother, and where they can see your awesome content.
Thanks for having me, Dutch, and everyone on the panel. Thank you so much. It's been a really good time, fun time. You can find me on YouTube at the General C, and you can also find me on Twitter at the General_C. Forza Erwin also has a very special name for me, but we can't say that live on the air. I don't
mention
think.
it. It's with UNT on the back.
Yes, that's actually my fault, because I told you that's what it stood for. It's been a wonderful time. I've had a really good time here. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And also shout out to the Gamers Watch crew and Stuart. They were the ones that connected me with you guys. So it was super awesome.
No, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. I'm really looking forward to working with you both over the time, because one thing we do, and it's exactly the same with the Gamers Watch crew. They were recommended from somebody else. They dropped me in a link. I think it was to the Midweek Mix-Up podcast DMs at first, and just said, "Listen, if you get a minute, can you listen to our show?" Listened to it, loved it, kind of connected with them a bit more, and it's all kind of went from there. Really appreciate hardworking, genuine creators that kind of have a passion for things, and specifically ones that are trying to build a great community, a really non-toxic community as well. And I think one of the great things we have specifically as well, in general, cute. One of the great things we have is a very kind of open,
Flash in a minute.
creative,
open, supportive, and fun community that really support each other. So I'm more than welcoming both General C and Chris and the 1H1D crew into our community, and let's all build together. Let's all grow together. Absolute pleasure. Can't wait to see what you guys have got coming up next. And again, you've got my support no matter what you do, and if you ever need it, you've got the support of our crew and our community to help you grow. So
thank you for the support. And it goes without saying, if you need anything, I'm here.
No problem at all, brother. No problem. But yes, let's get into the outroductions of our regular panel this week. Hertog Vin, if you let people know, brother, what you've got coming up and what you're going to be playing.
I'm still going to finish Skies of Arcadia on Twitch from the Sega Dreamcast.
I feel like we're going into Dragon Age 11 territory here. Not Dragon Age. What is it called?
Skies of Arcadia.
No, the game that you were playing for about 400 hours. Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, yeah.
Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah. It's about to say, yeah, but I don't have much time, because of work. So it's a bit difficult, and I only play it on stream, so people don't miss out. Because some people are there every day. I start Skies of Arcadia, they come and watch and ask stuff and so on. So it's really fun, It's still my favorite game ever, and it's I like that people are actually watching. It's fun to do, and I'm continuing the Ascent. I'm gonna play also the Apex. The new season arrived yesterday, and I promised some friends to join them and hopefully win some dinners again. Of course, I'm waiting for Halo, and the general will be in our team from Midweek Mix Up versus the other podcast team. So he had some great matches, and on the flight as well with 21 kills and 0 deaths.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch as Hertog Vin X, on Twitter, on Xbox, on PlayStation, about everywhere. And every Wednesday I'm here. If I'm not working, so most Wednesdays, sorry, I'm here. And I'd like to thank the General and Chris for coming. And great show, great meeting you, and hope to see you soon again.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. Awesome stuff. Patio, brother.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
again.
OnlyFans, sorry. Yeah, sorry, OnlyFans.
Yes, and he's OnlyFans. Let's not forget about that. He's only a matter of subscribers away on his Twitch channel to doing a hot tub stream. So if anybody wants to see that,
please no.
It's not a fake taxi. It's not a fake taxi this time. It's actually a hot tub.
Chris has already said he's not Chris sitting in the panel today, but Chris Grannell has already said he's going to donate a grenade into your hot tub. So
I don't care, man. It's I promised something and I will do it. So
just imagine you're sitting in a paddling pool. Oh dear me.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same as that girl, right? So with the marker and the one who donates the most money gets his name on my ass.
Oh Jesus. Dear me.
We'll see. The goal is €5, so.
Last but not, well, I wouldn't say last but not least. Next up, Patio. How are you doing, brother? Thank you again for jumping on tonight. Awesome to have you
always.
as usual. As usual. If you let people know where they can find you and what you are going to be playing over the next few days.
Well, you guys can find me on Twitter, of course, Petu_070. On Xbox, it's basically the same without the underscore. So, yeah, if you want to play games, add me, and I'm up for all type of games. So, yeah, let's go for it. What I have coming up is, of course, the Ascent. I'm going to continue that story. What I also have still is Little Nightmares 2. I'm not playing this game unless I'm streaming. So I don't play it offline. I'm going to play this game online. So if you guys want to hop on the stream, my days for now is Tuesday. That's one of the days that I stream. So I'm gonna put up a schedule to be online for you guys, and yeah.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Next up, last but not least, Forza Erwin. I feel like people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up.
Yes. So I want. What? Sorry.
12 minutes.
I only have 12 minutes, so I'll take my time. And excuse me for the last 12 minutes of the show. But I want to give a big shout out to Chris and General C for being on the show today. They were awesome, nice meeting you guys. So that was really good. People can find me on YouTube. Somehow, if you if you type in "racing from home," you still don't find my channel. So it's if you want to find my channel, you should do that on Forza Erwin, and then you see racing videos pop up on my channel as well. So please do subscribe and like if you want, and if you enjoy the videos that I make. I will be streaming Formula 1 2021 in the coming days, for sure, with Chris Grannell, but also on my own with the Breaking Point, which I like a lot. And then from next week, Monday, I am on a holiday for 5 days. So for the next week, on the Midweek Mix-Up podcast, I will be sadly not joining. I will be probably in the chat from my holiday place, but I will be not joining. And you can also find me, of course, on Forza Erwin on Twitter. I'm every day there, very active, and also on please add me on the Xbox as well if you want to play some racing games on Xbox. It's the same Forza Erwin. Drew, thanks again for the great show and also for the 1K that we reached in the last couple days.
Yeah, man.
We didn't celebrate so long ago the 1 year anniversary, and then almost 1 week or 2 weeks afterward we reached 1,000 subs on
Yes.
YouTube. So I want to give big compliments for everyone that has been on the show. The regular panel that we have, it's a really fun show, and I hope people liked it. And you, Drew, you do a fantastic job, mate. So thanks again.
Thank you,
Yes.
brother. Thank you
You
very
sure do,
much.
man.
Congratulations on the 1K, and congratulations to Archimedes too on reaching 4K.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
big Archie. Yeah, of course, unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but massive shout out to Archie because it was a great thing as well because he really wanted to hit that 4K pretty much the same time we hit the 1K so we could kind of celebrate together. And thankfully it was in a matter of kind of a day or so afterwards.
Yeah.
He smashed through that 4K as well. So big up to him. Really great work. I mean, he's absolutely flying now. I mean, I remember when we started, he was kind of talking about hitting that 1K mark, and then before we knew it, he was on 3K. It was like, whoa, you really took off. So absolutely awesome, and deservedly so. He puts out some really high quality content, and he's so much so that he's invested in a really kind of top spec rig to make sure he puts out even higher quality content going forward. So big congratulations to Archie as well. But yes, as Erwin said, massive thank you to our awesome community, all the guests we've had on in the last 12 months, all the different panel members we've got now, of course. Shout out to Erwin, Pat, Shomberlon, and Boxenberger for being the founders of the show, along with myself. Then, of course, Broyer, who, like I mentioned before, unfortunately is no longer part of the panel, but of course, fingers crossed at some point in the future we'll be kind of stepping back into it. But big shout out to him. He was part of the family and still is in the background. Massive shout out, of course, to our newer panel members, of course, Chris, Grannell, and Hertog Vin as well for joining our mad family. Absolutely awesome to have you all here. And of course, our ever-expanding kind of wider community now, of course, with General C and Chris in there. But of course, with Mav Fun Speculation, Green Pass Gaming, with Pong
Split
Soul,
Screen.
of course, with Living Split Screen, along with I Steel. And of course, who could forget the Gamers Watch crew, who are again forever expanding the community and of course massively interacting with our community as well. It's an absolute pleasure to have everyone as part of this massively growing family, and we appreciate the awesome support over the first 12 months and hitting this 1,000 subscriber mark. Massive deal. I want to give an additional shout out for this evening because again, this is the first time we've been on a show where we've actually had, and we have to be honest, it's monetization. We've had super chats for the first time ever, and you've blown us away. We did not expect to kind of get any super chats, especially on the first show, and you've come out here and absolutely smashed it out of the park. So thank you to, of course, Chris and General C for your little donations there. Every little helps. It's an absolute pleasure to have you both on. There's no need to thank us. Thank you for coming on as well and sparing your time. Absolute pleasure to have you both on. So thank you for your super chats. Kia Sante, thank you very much. Black Rider, thank you. Archimedes, of course, thank you very much. Assassin Looper and Fun Speculation, thank you so much for your donations. Of course, those just go towards kind of keeping this channel running and making this content better. Thank you so much. But again, thank you everybody who's attended tonight. If you haven't already dropped a like, please do so. Share this out, spread the word. Let's get this family growing further. It's been an absolutely amazing night. I hope you all have a good one, and we will see you all again next week. Goodbye.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye bye.
See you later,
Having
guys.
me. See ya.
Love you.